Sports. Welcome to the Jones Intercable Prep Football Game of the Week from Sandburg Stadium in Orland Park. It's the 2-0 Shepard Astros visiting the 1-1 Sandburg Eagles. Hello, everybody. Tim Cronin, along with Doug Durkee and Tom Barrett. You'll hear from them shortly. And former Sandburg High School head football coach Tom Saliga. Tom, an interesting matchup tonight as conference opener in Sika North. Sandburg coming off a loss to Lincoln Way. Shepard has romped essentially in its first two games. What do you expect tonight?
Well, what I expect tonight, Tim, is I expect two teams to get down to the basics. I think Sandburg, number one, is going to get back to their basic offense. Last week, they threw the ball 26 times. They thought they had some openings, and also they made numerous turnovers. I think they had 5 turnovers in the ball game. So I think you're going to see them get back to basic Sandburg football, which is ball control. And I'm sure you're going to see Webster and the Shepard Astros. I think, it's Ross and company. He's going to be the number one feature. And then I think the big question tonight is Johnson going to play? And if Johnson plays, it's going to change a little bit of the technique of Sandburg, I believe. But nobody knows that answer right now.
And that's, of course, Renard Johnson, one of their running backs. Ross is a big gainer for Shepard, 266 yards last week. He's the first thing that Mike Navarro, the new head coach, his first home game here, had to think about every morning when he woke up this week.
Oh, I'm sure he would have to think about him. And I think Larry Lokank, Mike Navarro, and the whole staff are thinking about Ross. Number one, you want to stop the big arsenal of Shepard, and that's Alan Ross. If you can stop Ross, then Shepard has to do other things, and if you can make Shepard do some other things that they really don't want to do, and you take Ross out of the ball game, it could be interesting.
It is a critical game, I would think, for Sandburg even more than Shepard, because, after all, 2 losses and you get a third one, it's tough to make the playoffs.
Well, 2 losses, and they're scrambling, and he knows that. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world, because Sandburg's schedule, the first 5 games are the most difficult games if you take a look. They're going against some top teams in the area, and but yes, a win here tonight by Sandburg, and would give them renewed hope, and the kids would rise the occasion, and they'd still be in a playoff picture. It'd make it tough if they don't.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful night for football. We'll be back to hear from Doug Durkee and Tom Barrett right after these words.
Arnie Bauer Cadillac GMC has been a member of your community for almost 50 years, bringing quality service to their customers with their own family dealership. And right now, Arnie Bauer is serving up the Sonoma for a family special of only $89.95. Or if your family is a little larger, here's the new 1993 Loaded Jimmy for a low, low price of only $18,497. Visit Arnie Bauer for a test drive of any new GMC truck and receive a free cellular phone. Come to Arnie Bauer Cadillac GMC.
We're only minutes away.
What would you do if you were stuck in the same day over and over? Anything you want.
Don't you worry about cholesterol, love handles?
Why? And everything your heart desires.
Don't drive angry.
Bill Murray.
Yes!
Andy McDowell. Groundhog Day.
What did you do today?
Oh, same old, same old.
Rated PG.
Apple Chevrolet Geo in Tinley Park announces a major price reduction on every used and program vehicle in stock. During Apple Chevrolet Geo's Red Tag sales event, every used and program vehicle will be clearly marked with bottom line prices. Look for the red tags and save now through Saturday. Apple Chevrolet Geo, smart people, smart service, smart savings. Located 1 mile east of LaGrange Road on 159th Street in Tinley Park. Apple Chevrolet Geo, the smart choice.
Hey, listen to this. Cable companies are being told by at least one local station that starting this fall, they can no longer carry that station's programs without paying for them. Hi, Steve.
Well, that means we're going to end up paying for it sooner or later.
Come on, nobody else pays for broadcast TV. Why should we?
At Jones Intercable, we're asking the same questions you are, and still waiting for answers.
It's a beautiful night here for football at Eagle Stadium in Carl Sandburg High School, Orono Park, Illinois. It's our Jones Cable Game of the Week with the Shepard Astros visiting the Sandburg Eagles. I'm Doug Gerke along with Tom Barrett, and we're very happy to be joined with retired coach now, Tom Saliga of the Carl Sandburg Eagles, and Southtown reporter Tim Cronin. Tom, what do you look for in this game?
Well, I think both teams are going to go down to the basics. Shepard is going to go with Alan Ross. That's the number one. When you have a big cannon like that, you're going to shoot it tonight. And Sandburg is going to try to stop that big cannon. And I think you're going to see some changes in their defense a little bit to try to stop Ross and make Shepard go another route to score. As far as on the other side of the ball, I think you're going to see Sandburg go with Kevin Singletary, their number one gun. And you're going to see Rob Skubik. I think you're going to see a little bit of power football tonight. I don't think they're going to play around. They're going to go after each other, both sides of the ball.
Tim, you want to add something to that? What's going on?
Well, I found out just before the game, in between the pregame and coming up here, that Renard Johnson is not going to play tonight. He is in street clothes tonight, in fact, standing right now down by the 50-yard line, and will not play. He, of course, the victim of a hit and run a week and a half ago, held out of the Eisenhower game. He was on his bike, hit by a car on 135th Street, suffered headaches for a couple of days after that, so didn't play last week and still not playing tonight. However, another kid who missed last week's game, Craig Barham, will play tonight for Shepard, so they've got their number one quarterback back in, even though Tony Pryor did such a nice job last week against Eisenhower.
Well, the Eagles will be receiving, I'm Tom Barrett here, the Eagles will be receiving from the Astros, and Jim Dalio is their kicker. Jim Dalio is an interesting story. He's maybe a Division I baseball prospect, and very good football player. He plays both ways on this football team, number 71. So that should be an interesting matchup every time Dalio has to kick. He is their punter. He's getting some booming punts off here in the pregame.
He kind of reminds you of Doug Murray from your team last year, an excellent football player and also a Division I baseball player.
Right, and Doug took the route to go to Northwestern on a baseball scholarship, and he could have performed well in either sport.
The Eagles will be defending the south goal here tonight. The wind's not a factor. The flag is limp.
The mosquitoes may be a factor, Tom, but the wind's not a factor.
You see the referee out there checking over with Jim Dalio before the kickoff. The Astros in their orange and brown uniforms, white jerseys, a little bit like the Cleveland Browns, aren't they?
Yeah, they do. They do kind of look like the Cleveland Browns.
And by the way, Tom, the referee tonight, David McIntyre of Wheaton. He's joined by a crew of people from the western suburbs.
But just a minute, there we have the J. Holly Memorial Athletic Cup on the field. There's a shot that you have that George Carpentier has, followed up on the J. Holly Memorial chair. It's a little inside joke at Jones, but we always get a kick out of it.
So welcome to Cup Show.
Who's deep to receive down there, Doug? It's not...
Looks like Danny Sullivan. Let's see if we can pick it up on the monitor here. Danny Sullivan and Fahey, would that who would be? Or that looks like Skubik on the right, doesn't it?
Kick end over end, received at the 15. Looks like Kevin Singletary there. No, not Kevin Singletary.
No, that's Janasek. Jeff Janasek. He's the up man in their kick return. He'll be the starting linebacker for him, and he's the one that caught the ball and brought it upfield. Junior starting linebacker.
Got a replay on the. No replay yet on the kick. So 1st and 10 for the Sandburg Eagles at their own 26-yard line. Quarterback Chris Prizdia. Singletary and Skubik in the backfield. Receivers left and right. And the handoff goes to Singletary. Gain of about a yard. Dalio down there in the tackle, along with Jay Nowicki.
Let me set the offensive line for you here for the Eagles. Right tackle is Fran Areola, number 72. Right guard is Eric Welsh, number 78. The center is Rick Dickinson, number 50. Left guard is Matt McCarthy, number 62. And the left tackle is Sean Slaney, number 73.
And they're in the full house backfield now with Prizzi at quarterback. Both ends in tight. Draw. Singletary. Almost a first down, past the 35 up to about the 37-yard line. Could be a measurement here. Dalio again over on the tackle.
A little bit of counteraction off of their power I offense where they send the two lead backs one way and come back with Kevin Singletary to the backside, a gain of about 8 yards. Good play. He's the guy they have to stop if they want to control the football on the Shepard side.
And that was a first down, so the Eagles have 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Draw, Singletary. Again, Dalio on the tackle, gain of about 5.
Let me go through the defensive line there and defensive personnel for the Astros. We got the nose tackle is Mike Nowicki, number 63. Defensive tackles are Jay Nowicki and Bill Shack. Defensive ends are Jim Jensen and Craig Paget. That's their front 5. Their weights are 200, 225, 200, 225, and 190. Average a little bit over 200 pounds a player down there.
Power eye backfield. Fake to the up back. Give the Singletary the deep back, and he's stopped for no gain by Ralph Pegas, number 40 there.
Counterplay off the I formation that what they want to do is they want to get Shepard linebackers flowing one way and come back the other side. Interesting matchup you're going to see tonight, not on the field, but across the field. You're going to see Mike Navarro working the offense versus Donnie Webster working the defense for Shepard. And when the ball changes hands, Larry Lokang defensively for Sandburg going against Jimmy Clutchard from Shepard on offense.
3rd and 5, Tristia to pass. Complete and dropped. That ball was right in the hands.
Number 13, Kevin Fahey.
Well, I'll tell you, excellent read. Chris come rolling out off of the play fake, and Kevin Fahey broke to the inside. He read the open lane, the passing lane. Just one problem, he was a little too anxious before he got the ball.
Rob Skubik in the punt for the Eagles. Who's deep for the Astros there, Doug? Is that...
Can't see the number.
Is that number 15, Tony Pryor?
Yeah, it looks like him. Let's see. Turns us back a little bit more.
It was a nice play by Fahey. He was breaking outside. He came back inside, and unfortunately didn't catch it.
Well, the one thing that Sandburg really can't afford tonight is to not catch balls like that or make little mistakes, because Shepard essentially can grind it down in your throat. You'll see Ross in a moment. Alan Ross, number 4, the senior, the tailback. His average, 11.6 yards per carry, is just phenomenal, even though it is only 2 games into the season. That's
and at 6'2" and 230, that's pretty imposing high school football player to try to stop. He's a straight-up runner. He comes right at you.
Big or bigger than anybody on Sandburg.
Is that Pryor back there, Tom?
Pryor does go deep. Pryor's brother, Ontario, was their top running back last year. I'm sure Coach Tom remembers him very well.
Very well. Remember Pryor, Zeke Green, and the whole crew. I'll tell you, kid that did damage to us last year was Johnson, and he's not playing tonight.
Skubik, another left-footed kicker here. Gets off a good punt. Pryor gets it on the bounce at about the 28-yard line. Breaks a couple tackles up to about the 38, 39-yard line.
Like 26, Leo Kozolinsky, I believe, brought him down.
And Barham does come in to start at quarterback, Tom, so he's back after a week off.
Okay, with Barham at quarterback, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Pryor now. If they're going to play him as a wide receiver or strictly on defense. Now we're going to take a look and see what Sandburg's going to do defensively. Sandburg's in their basic 5-2 monster defense right now.
Jensen and Ross in the backfield. Give to Ross, tripped up.
By Slaney.
Looked like Sean Slaney did a nice job of getting by the Mike Nowicki there to make the tackle.
Sandburg is going to use a penetrating type defense. They're going to keep their down linemen very low, and they feel the only way they can stop Ross is they have to stop him below the waist. A player like Ross, you're not going to take up around his shoulders because he's going to carry you for 4 or 5 yards.
Gain of about a yard in the play, 2nd and 9 for the Astros. Slot back right, power eye, split end left. Delayed handoff to Ross. Ross up past the 40 to about the 41-yard line before he's swarmed under by a wave of blue jerseys there, Doug.
Sound like a Jack Frickhouse type of deal. Who was that number? 55, Brandon O'Daniel. Brandon O'Daniel had about 10 tackles. There's a replay right in there. There you can see Brandon. Go ahead.
Well, what you're seeing now is you're seeing Sandburg's defense. They're moving quite a bit, and the offensive line of Shepard, they're just standing. They're not maintaining blocks. And if this continues, the Sandburg defense, with their quickness, will cause the Shepard offense problems.
Little trick defense here, it looks like, not the standard 5. A deep drop by Barham. Almost intercepted down here and dropped at about the 50-yard line. Coming up on that play was Danny Sullivan. So that leaves the Astros with 4th and about 7 at their own 41-yard line. Good defensive stand here.
You can see Barham's foot slip as he went to plant, and I think that threw the timing of that play off.
Well, I'll tell you, very good route, and the receiver broke it off, and he was open. It was just he released a little too late on the play. Good recovery by Danny Sullivan from Sandburg.
Dalio to punt with Fahey deep.
Well, we got a 10-man rush. Now we're
Singletary drops off.
Whoa. Penalty, roughing the flag on the field. Leo Kozolinsky is going to be flagged for jumping into Jim Dalio.
Yeah, it's roughing the punter, and the ball's going to go back to Shepard High School. Unfortunate situation, and all players are taught on both sides of the ball. You go across the front of that player. You don't go after the leg.
Tom, as a coach, it had to drive you crazy when something like that happened.
Well, I'll tell you what it's doing now, Tim. It has just taken a little bit of the momentum away from Sandburg. You know, they stopped this highly touted Shepard offense, or Ross and company, and now they're going to get another crack at it. So, yeah, it does drive you nuts. But, you know, you're dealing with 16, 17, and 18-year-old boys, and there's always the unexpected. But, I mean, it was 100% effort, so, you know, as much as you yell and scream, you just back off the kid and say, keep coming, son.
The 15-yard penalty gives the Astros a first down at the 44-yard line of the Eagles now.
Well, one of the things Shepard doesn't get enough publicity on probably is their offensive line. They have an excellent offensive line. As soon as we get a chance, we'll go through them, because that's what makes a running back like Ross or...
High formation, Ross in the tail. And the give is to Ross off the right side. Gain of about 5 or 6 yards up there. Rob Skubik on the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you, this is what Sandburg fears the most, is somebody coming right at them, a big Ross. And if they can't get off the blocks and make the plays at the line of scrimmage, then Ross is going to have a good night. We have to make Ross adjust his route, and he has to stutter step at the line to stop that momentum. That's the hope Sandburg has to have.
Skubik helped out by Janicek on the tackle. 2nd and about 4 for the Astros. Again, high formation with Ross in the tail to give to the up back. Jensen breaks off the left side for a gain of about 4 or 5 yards down to the 32-yard line. First down.
One little note we might want to mention here, Jim Jensen is Eric Welsh's cousin. Eric plays on the Eagles, and Jim Jensen is, of course, a member of the Astros, so cousin against cousin here tonight.
Rob Skubik again over there, along with number 55, Brandon O'Daniel. 1st and 10 for the Astros. Call it the Eagle 33. Now motion, back out. Give to Ross off the right side. Tough to bring that man down, I'll tell you that.
Good power runner. He kept his feet, as you noticed there, and broke the first tackle, and they had to get him with a second.
Oh, he's tough. You're not going to bring Alan Ross down around his shoulders, and you're going to have to stop him below the waist. They run a power offense that time with the man in motion, and he turned, and he becomes a kick out or lead blocker. So you're sending 2 power backs. It's a tremendous power ISO play.
Gain of 5+ yards on the play. Atkins now splits off to the left. Jason Gremchuk to the right. Once again to give to Alan Ross. Stopped in the backfield and brought down.
43, Jeff Janicek, I believe it was.
Yeah, Jeff Janicek, and also number, 78, Eric Welsh?
Eric Welsh.
And here's another look at it.
Yeah, exactly what we talked about. Sandburg's defense up front, they're moving quickly, and they're making Shepard look for their blocks, and if you stop Ross at the line of scrimmage and try to make him adjust his route, you have a chance.
Well, equipment timeout on the play for Jim Dalio here. His helmet was giving him some problems. Last time they were in this situation, coach, 3rd and 5, they went with a little pass off into the left flat.
Well, I expect to see him in a rollout type pass or watch the draw play.
We used to say that when you were coaching. Watch that draw play.
But you never said watch the pass, right?
Motion, left to right.
Ross again.
Well, the late handoff, Ross is swarmed under.
Nice defense.
You start
Very
picking
nice
some
defense.
numbers out of there, Doug.
If it was a draw play, it was executed too fast.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It was just a slight delay. It wasn't a typical draw. So that brings up 4th down and about 7 yards to go.
Just about everybody on the Sandburg defensive left side of the line and all their linebackers hit him as well, so they were waiting for that
Even
play.
Danny Sullivan was up from the secondary on that play. 4th and 7, so the Astros will go for it here from the Eagle 28, 29-yard line.
Wonder what Dalio's range is. Wonder if he could kick a field goal.
I don't know what his range is, to be honest with you. I think they're going to have to get down around the 20-yard line for him to have a chance. That's a 30-plus yard field goal.
Atkins to the left, motion left to right. Back to pass, Barham. Hit as he throws by Singletary, but the pass is complete out there to Jim Jensen. Caught it for a 1st down at about the 20-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Astros.
I'll tell you, give the Shepard quarterback a lot of credit because he got some tremendous heat from the outside, from the Sandburg backer coming at him. He wheeled, got up in the air, he took the shot and released the ball. It was a nice job. I think it's going to come back.
Was that Skubik on the blitz in there? Or was that 36, I think?
It might have been Singletary. 31. Or 31 was on the play there, too. Could have been Skubik.
Well, we miss our old friend Tom. Gene Sherry said he doesn't have any football games this year.
But a penalty brought this play back. Coach Webster out there questioned the penalty being explained by the referee now. Has to remove himself from the field.
Well, that's as big a break as the punt.
First down Sandburg.
Yeah.
1st down Sandburg. Wait a second here. It should be.
With great field position. I don't know what's happening.
What was the call there?
I don't know what the call was, to be honest with you.
Had to be a loss of down. Maybe
15-yard penalty, loss of down.
Illegal receiver downfield, maybe, or I didn't see a signal there.
Might be one of the few things that would cause loss of down, and Don Webster's out there in the middle field as we see right now, asking for chapter and verse on this one.
That's right. Have to break out some of the IRS code to explain this one to Coach Webster. I'm waiting for Jim Katsinas. I haven't heard him say anything. Sometimes he'll announce what it is too. He's noticeably silent.
And this is an even bigger break now. Shepard giving up the ball, and now Sandburg can make the move. It looked like 4th down conversion. They're deep into Sandburg territory, and this turns it completely around. Now the ball's back at midfield and in the hands of the blue and gold.
We talked about Mr. Mo, right? Mr. Momentum just swung around again.
I'll tell you right now, this is better than an excellent punt return. I mean, they're in great field position. All of a sudden, they get their backs to the wall, and boom, here we are. Sandburg in great field position right now.
1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line for the Eagles.
Well, we still don't know what the call was, but the good news if you're an Eagle fan is it's 1st and 10.
I have to assume it was ineligible receiver downfield because that was a loss of down, and it gave Sandburg the ball with the 15-yard penalty. So Prizia now with the pro set in the backfield. Singletary and Skubik, tight ends. Skubik off the left side, gain of about 6 yards up to midfield.
That's something we didn't see at Linkaway hardly at all last week. We saw a lot of Kevin Singletary, but very little of Rob Skubik.
Never saw him run the ball at all, as a matter of fact,
right,
which is unusual given the performance that he gave at Waubonsee Valley.
Right, that was...
Well, Rob Skubik is an excellent ball carrier, and I'll tell you, you're going to watch because they're featuring Singletary on one side and Ross on the other, and the big factors are going to end up being Skubik and his Williams kid because everybody's going to forget about him.
Right.
Shane Doty and Jim Dalio on that tackle. There's the handoff to Skubik, stop for no gain. That was A.B. Camacho, Doug.
That's one of my favorite. Wouldn't Harry Carey like to say A.B. Camacho? Wouldn't it be a great name? A.B. Camacho.
I'll tell you, Rob Skubik didn't like A.B. Camacho that time.
Well, I remember last year you used to use Jimmy Robleski, and then Jason Barone would use the trap, the fullback trap.
Right.
And then the same way that Mike Navarro
and what they're doing right now is they're just coming out real quick and running Skubik on a base play, on an occasion trap, and then coming back to Singletary.
3rd and 3, Prizia back to pass. Almost intercepted there by Alan Ross on the ground, intended for Rob Skubik. That makes it 4th down and 3 at the 49-yard line of the Astros.
Little play action, counter action in the backfield, and they snuck Rob Skubik up the middle, and they tried to drag him out into the flat, and Chris just missed the mark.
2:24 to go here in the first quarter. Skubik back to punt Deep to return is going to be Tony Pryor for the Astros. 10 men on the line for the Astros. See if they drop anybody off in coverage. The block.
Kevin Fahey calling out the signals for Skubik.
Beautiful punt by Skubik. Taken at the 20 by Pryor. Hit immediately.
Nice coverage on that time.
Beautiful coverage because Shepard tried to set a wall to this sideline over here to the Shepard side, and they couldn't get Pryor over here. It was very good coverage by Sandburg.
Matt McCarthy on the tackle, number 62.
And Pryor hesitated for just a second after he caught the ball right there. Now, which way do I go? Well, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, they certainly hit him boxed in, as they say in the trade. Hit him boxed in. You want to force him up the middle. You don't want to let a guy like that get outside.
Nearing the end of the first quarter, 2 minutes to go. Astros at their own 23-yard line, 1st and 10. Barham at quarterback. Jensen and Ross in the backfield. Give us to Jensen off the right side. Gain of about 2 on the play up to the 25-yard line. 2nd and 8.
Okay, we should mention that the producer-director of this telecast is George Carpentier, Cameron Mendy, ever-popular Jay Holly, Brendan Olszewski, Bill Dobus, Roy Beasley, and Stacy Valentine. Jay Holly has left the building. I've just been told that Jay Holly has left the building. So that's your Jones Cable crew for tonight, along with our announcers. I'm Doug Gerke, Tom Barrett, Tom Saliga, and Tim Cronin.
They place the ball at the 24, so it's 2nd and 9 for Shepard. Passing situation here for Barham.
Take a look at Sandburg's defense now.
Give
they
us
made
to
a
Alan
change
Ross.
up right now. If they run that back, you're going to see Kevin Singletary, the monster back or the defensive halfback, come into the middle, and it looks like it's a mirror defense. They're going to start watching Ross. When that happens, here it is. Kevin's coming in he's coming up to make the tackle from the inside, and I'm assuming in the secondary has to be in man-to-man coverage. But what they're going to do now, they're going to put a 3rd linebacker in there, use Kevin as a linebacker, and put some pressure on Ross. Now there's a man that can't be blocked.
There was a gain of 7 on the play, so it's 3rd and 2 from the 31-yard line.
And we hope Ross wears out before Kevin does.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Ross tripped up at the line. Number 81 in there on the tackle.
It's going to make it interesting here.
4th and short. Brian Czar on the tackle.
Brian Czar is the defensive end. Defensive, we should go through the Sandburg defense. We got Eric Welsh at one end and Brian Czar at the other end. Pat O'Sullivan will be in there also. Fran Areola and Matt McCarthy are the tackles. And Sean Slaney, one of the many players for Sandburg that plays both ways, is playing a nose guard. Sean's our biggest Eagle. He's 6'3", about 225.
And time runs out here in the first quarter, so we'll be back with the second quarter in just a minute.
After this message from Arnie Bauer Cadillac and GMC.
As independent insurance agents, Horton Insurance Agency can offer the policies of many leading insurance companies. But to meet the personal insurance needs of their business and professional clients, Horton selects the Universal Security Policy from CNA. The USP policy offers expanded coverages prepared by people who understand hired valued homes and other benefits of financial success at exceptional rates that reflect the superior risks you represent. Horton Insurance Agency and CNA, ensuring your success.
One name means more satisfied customers.
Terry's. More car for less money. More service with less hassle. More commitment to your complete satisfaction. When we hand over the keys to a Terry's new or used car, we put our reputation on the road. Terry's Lincoln Mercury, Orland Park. Terry's Buick of Blue Island. Terry's Ford Lincoln Mercury of Piatone. Terry's Buick Nissan in Bradley. We want to be your car dealer.
One name means more satisfaction. Terry's.
We open a scoreless ball game here in the second quarter. Shepard Astros now with the ball. 4th and short. Dalio. Jim Dalio is about to punt. A left-footed punter. It's an interesting matchup of left-footed kickers here. Skubik a left-footer and Dalio a left-footer in this game. You don't see that very often. And they're both excellent kickers. A low snap. Dalio has trouble handling it. Gets off a poor punt off to the right side, end over end. Past the 40, goes out of bounds down about the Sandburg 35-yard line.
Kevin Fahey was down there ready to pounce on it if it stayed in fair territory.
And guys, here are the stats for the first quarter. Not a whole lot to talk about, quite frankly, except Alan Ross has 22 yards on 8 carries. Shepard has 31 yards on 10 carries in all. Jensen with the other 2. Sandburg, of course, Kevin Singletary, he's had 4 rushes so far for 17 yards. Skubik 2 for 6. So I guess the Ross Singletary marquee matchup so far hasn't provided the fireworks we might have expected. Perhaps we'll see some now.
No completed passes, right?
No completed passes, no. And we've had that one very strange situation where Sandburg got the ball back on the ineligible man downfield on the punt. And boy, that was the thing that they wanted to see.
Different backfield here.
Brian Anguita.
Brian Anguita, the tailback, gains about 6-7 yards off of that. There's a switch up.
Well, yeah, it is, and I'll tell you, Brian Anguita is an excellent runner. If they have to make a switch and give Singletary a break, they're not missing a beat right here. He's not as powerful, but he's as quick, and I wonder who's going to back up Ross when he has to come out. So Anguita will give them that thrust that they need.
Gain of 8 on the play. Frizia's pass intended for Fahey overthrown. They kind of had a free down there with 2nd and 2.
They did, yes, and they could gamble, and excellent execution. I'll tell you, Kevin Fahey is finding the open lane. Chris right now just isn't hitting him. There's twice that there should have been completions, both to Kevin.
Well, 3rd and 2 now.
Well, you're going back to those stats that Tim read before. Really, both defenses are keen on Ross and Singletary, so the defensive have been successful in stopping those guys. And as Tom said before, something else has got to bust open.
Anguita in the tail again. Frizia quarterback. A little movement in the backfield, no call. Anguita on the counter. He's got good yardage past the 45 up to the 47-yard line. 1st down.
That's that famous play the Washington Redskins use. That they call it the counter tray. If you watch the 2 linemen pull, and Skubik went and blocked the backside, and the ball was given to Anguita around the right side. A good kick-out block by the lead blocker, and the 2nd man leading Anguita through. That's that counter trade that the Washington Redskins use.
Power eye backfield. Eye field in backfield. Frizia fumbles the center snap.
Well, this is a good way to give Kevin a rest. Brian Anguita is known for following his blockers. He follows his blockers just about as well as anybody.
Well, Brian Anguita is an excellent player. We had a little mishap here with the snap. It was going to be a trap play, but the exchange from the center to the quarterback didn't get through. So now we're on 2nd down and 10. But back to Brian Anguita, we planned on using him a lot last year, but he had a knee injury, and he's coming off of big knee surgery. He's an excellent running back. If he gets his head in the game, he can be a factor.
Power right backfield, O'Reilly in motion now out to the right. Play action play. Overthrown by Frizia, intended downfield for number 87.
Sam Abasala.
Sam Abasala.
Abasala.
Right, the tight end. On a little quick block on the inside and in release, a little play action. And they're trying to bring that defensive back up and release Sam to the sidelines. Good route. A little overthrown.
Well, Eagles at their own 47, 3rd and 10 now.
Another passing situation here.
Another passing situation, but watch Anguita on a sprint draw.
Fahey, only flanker out there. There's your sprint draw. Play action. Frizia gets the ball off, overthrown. The intended receiver was Fahey down there. So it's 4th and 10.
Boy, Fahey really upended that one Shepard player. The player went up to intercept it, and Fahey gave him a shot. Completely flipped him over.
Right now, Chris Frizia is just not on the mark. It could be a little bit of anxiousness, and he's trying to force the ball a little bit, but he has had Fahey open 3 times already.
Skubik once again to kick his 3rd punt of the evening on Tony Pryor. Keep wanting to say Ontario Pryor deep to return. Skubik's kick is good. Drives Pryor back to about the 19-yard line. And he's hammered. Eric Welsh meets him at the 27-yard line.
With help from Danny Sullivan. Danny Sullivan is on practically every special teams tackle, I think, in the past 2 years.
Well, that's a lineman down there, Coach. You like to see those linemen down there.
Yeah, I really do. And Eric was hustling. But, you talk about Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan doesn't say much all week long. There's Skubik's punt. All right, there's Pryor waiting for it. Here he comes. Now, right now, he's undecided where he's going to go, and you have a host of Sandburg tacklers waiting for him. But Danny Sullivan, very quiet boy. He performs with reaction.
Long line of Sullivan players that have played at the Sandburg. Long line of
Sullivan players, yes, 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
Jensen and Ross in the eye. Hand off to Jensen off the left side, gain of about 3 yards, up to the 32-yard line.
This always reminds me about what you call about a prize fight, where two fighters just kind of test each other to see what's working, and it kind of goes back in the middle of the field, and you wait for somebody to land a shot.
You know, if you look at this replay, you watch the Sandburg defensive linemen. Their quickness is causing Shepard's offensive line some problems. They're making Shepard's offensive line hesitate. And you know the old saying, he who hesitates is lost.
Another equipment repair, Brandon O'Daniel out there.
Tom, how would the Shepard crew adjust to that situation? Would they change the line blocking or the sets or anything like that?
Well, he may have to adjust the line blocking, but the number one thing is he has to tell the Shepard kids, you forget about the angles, just get off the ball and everything else will take care of itself. When the ball is snapped, Sandburg wants Shepard offensive linemen to stand around and look. If they do, the Sandburg quickness is just going to penetrate and shut all the running lanes off.
Barham's pass off the hands, and there's a penalty flag down off the hands of number 40, Jim Jensen.
I
looked
think
like it was
going to have
intercepted.
offensive pass interference on this play.
And Pryor is the quarterback now. Tony Pryor threw that ball. Barham is out.
It's going to be Sandburg ball. Must be a little...
It was intercepted on the play, but the penalty flag was shown. Was there offensive interference? And now
they're changing
now it's
the
defensive
call.
interference. It's first down for the Astros.
Now the call's going against Sandburg. To be honest with you, on a replay, if it was offensive pass interference, then it would have to be some move that receiver did with his elbow to catch the defender. But the defender probably come over the top or pushed the receiver and readjusted his route a little bit.
Well, the ball bounced off of the hands of the intended receiver and was intercepted, but the penalty flag was thrown right at the time of the just before the interception. "47-yard line of Shepard, 1st and 10 for the Astros. Scoreless game here. Offside, number 59.
1st and 15
Bill
for
Shack.
Shepard now.
That'll bring him back to the 42, 1st and 15.
We got it. Here's a replay right here. There you can see the movement. Well, I mentioned the linebackers for Sandburg, Jeff Janisek, number 43, and Brandon O'Daniel, number 55. Defensive backs, the starters are Kevin Singletary, number 31, Dan Sullivan, number 25, Leo Kozlinski, number 26, and Rob Skubek, number 36. Sandburg will be shuffling players in and out. We'll try to keep you posted on those as well.
Here's your man-to-man coverage with Kevin Singletary in the middle again.
Pryor back to pass deep downfield, way past the intended receiver. That was Jason Gremchuk down there. Coverage on the play by
Leo Kozlinski. Was that Leo? No, that was Danny Sullivan. Danny Sullivan.
25, yeah.
25 or 26. We're trying to see when he turns his uniform.
2nd and 15 for the Astros. Well, they did have to change something up. Their running game was stagnating, and
they did. You watch Kevin Singletary. Here he is again now, number 31. He's standing in the middle. All right. Now really what he is, like a third linebacker back here, and they're playing man-to-man. They bring up their corners, and they're playing man-to-man.
And that was Jensen. And there was very little, if any, gain on that play. Coach Webster demonstratively talking to his team out there about some sort of execution on that play.
Now, when Kevin was sat down in that last offensive series for the Eagles, was that to rest him, or were they just trying to try something different on offense?
No, they're just trying to rest Kevin, to be honest with you, and it's a smart move because they bring in Anguita, and you know, like we talked about, Anguita can run the football. So, and the field position was such that they weren't going to lose anything. Kevin Singletary now has rest, and you know, Ross doesn't.
3rd and 15, Pryor straight back to pass. Up in the pocket, may have some room to run. But he's tripped up nicely by Rob Skubik at about the 45-yard line up to the 47.
That'll make you nervous, Tom.
Oh, I'll tell you, yes, it will. You know, if he gets one more step, he's on his way. Here we go now. He drops back, and they're sending Ross out in the flat. You can't see it, but all of a sudden, here goes Pryor. He takes off. He's an excellent runner. The other thing is, if you take a look, Rob Skubik is all over the field tonight.
Right. Well, Pryor rushed for 2 touchdowns last week against Eisenhower, runs of 4 and 12 yards.
Oh yeah, and they're aware of that. They're worried about Pryor being a quarterback. That gives them another running dimension.
Dalio to punt from their 47-yard line. Kick is off. It's a good kick.
Nobody went near the kicker that time. Don't want any more penalties.
Inside the 20, it's still bouncing down to about the 13-yard line. Finally down there. Mike Melichar down there. Bad field position for the Eagles now, Coach.
Well, it's going to be a field position football game because right now it's a defensive game, and when it's a defensive game, field position becomes very, very important. Sandburg is going to have to drive the football now almost 85 yards, and that's a tough chore without making a mistake. We'll see what happens.
6.5, under 6.5 to go in the first half here. Hand off to Skubik off the right side. He's corralled over there. Alan Ross on the tackle.
Alan Ross. Well, right now that's not a bad thing. If he wears himself out tackling people, maybe he won't have anything left in the fourth quarter.
Well, there it is again. It's Skubik, and Ross makes the tackle. And I'll tell you right now, when you're playing linebacker and you're playing tailback, that's a physical ball game because you're carrying the ball 25, 30 times, and you're involved in a lot of tackles. So this game is going to come down to manpower if it remains the way it is.
Singletary back in the tail in this situation. Delay handoff to Singletary. Up past the 20 to the 22-yard line, close to the first down. It's going to be 3rd and about 1 or 2 yards to go for the Eagles here. Remember a few years ago, the Astros had a running back, Tyrone Washington. He played Richards, and they said they almost had to carry him to the bus after the game because he had carried the ball 35 or so times, and he made just about every tackle on defense.
As I recall, he gained something like 323 yards that night, one of the great individual performances I've ever seen, and it was at Richards, which is amazing in itself.
Right.
Again, the high formation. Prizia rolling out. He's got a receiver. Past the receiver, Fahey, and out of bounds. 4th down and 2.
Well, here's where all your quarterback critics and all your coaches in the stand are going to get their chance to really work on this one because it's 3rd down. It was 3rd down about 2 yards, and they're all going to say, I would have run. Why did he pass? And if he runs and it's no good, they would have passed. Right. So, you know, the 3,500 coaches in here, the only one that's wrong was Navarro. Yeah, I thought it was an excellent call, just not a very good throw.
Right.
Skubik's kick is low, a line drive. Pryor gets it at about the 46-yard line. He's got room to run. But he's brought down.
Danny Sullivan.
Danny Sullivan again on the tackle.
And it looks like Pryor's going to stay in a quarterback this time. And obviously,
helped out by Matt McCarthy.
Obviously, Tom, the change was made in the last time because Pryor has more maneuverability as a runner than Barham does. So a good move, I think, especially if they're going to try and mirror Ross as they have so well.
Oh, yeah. Now I think you're going to start to see a little bit of option football because they're going to let Pryor keep the ball. The big thing is, how does Pryor throw the ball? We want to find that out. I mean, I don't know what he did last week. I understand he has a pretty good arm, but...
what was he last week, 2 for 12?
2 for 12 last week. Yeah, Tim has the stats on last week, so that's not devastating.
Yeah, but I think the big equalizing thing of that Alan Ross was the player of the week, I think, for the Star Tribune, if we can mention that name, Tim, here, the Orland.
We certainly can.
Okay.
Especially because they just call it the Star these days.
Okay.
Jensen, the ball carrier, up to midfield. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the second quarter. The Astros are 2nd and 9. The scoreless game here. That surprised you, scoreless game?
It surprised me, a scoreless game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but to be scoreless at this time, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, and it's not because I'm a Sandburg person, but the longer it goes like this, the more favor it goes to Sandburg.
Right.
Pryor, the quarterback. Roll out. There's your option. He pitched out to Alan Ross. Ross around the left side. Gain of about 10, 12 yards past the 40-yard line down inside to about the 37. There's your option, Coach.
Well, that's why Pryor's in there. And the other thing is now they're going to put that corner out there from Sandburg on a rope. and they're going to put that defensive end. If they're going to challenge Ross on the option, watch out for Pryor. He's going to keep it and go up the middle, or he's going to go off tackle with it, and that's the dimension they're looking for. They're not worried about about Pryor throwing. That's what he's in there for right now.
Well, Ross must have stepped out at the 40. It's 1st and 10 at the 40 for the Astros. 3:42 to go here in the second quarter. Same formation to the right this time.
And who was that other running back? That was.
I think it was Jensen that time. I think the lead back, the fullback.
Well, yeah, here's the replay. Now take a look on this replay. The defensive linemen for Sandburg are angling low, and they're getting down at the knee level of the offensive Shepard linemen, and they're clogging up the running lanes.
And that's what you call good coaching fundamentals. That's football
good coaching fundamentals. And I'll tell you right now, they're making Ross adjust. And if you make him adjust and hesitate, then the linebackers come in clean house.
Equipment timeout for Brandon O'Daniel here, so you could expect to see that option being running, and that was the give to the fullback, the first option on that. You have 3 options, right? The give to the fullback, keep it yourself, or pitch to the tailback.
Right, they do, and I don't know if it's a true option read, but usually in a situation like this, it's a double option, and most of the time they'll predetermine. He's coming out, and he's going to read one man. It's either going to be pitch or keep. If he's going to give to the fullback, there's no option. He'll give it. Other than that, it's just a double option.
This looks like the option, but it's a play action. Deep pass over the hands of James Atkins inside the 10-yard line. Coverage on the play with Leo Kozelinski. That brings up 3rd down and 9 for the Astros.
I'll tell you, we found one thing out, whether he completed him or not. He was 2 for 12 last week. He can throw the ball. He has an arm.
He threw that ball about 40-plus yards in the air, a nice spiral just over the hands of Atkins.
Excellent pass, just slightly overthrown. That was close.
So another passing situation, 3rd and 9, 2:46 to go here in the half. Slot right. Straight drop back by Pryor. Pryor's pass, the receiver fell over on the left side there. Got a number on that receiver, Doug?
Trying to pick it up.
Number 22.
Number 22 on
Jason Gremchuk.
Well, they left Danny Webster with no choice. He has to put the ball in the air a couple times, regardless of the down and yardage situation, because they're going to have to get Sandburg off their back. Sandburg's defense is starting to come up real tight, and Shepard's playing against a 9-man front right now.
Looks like they're going for it again. Of course, this is the situation where they went for it and got it, and then the penalty that came along that gave the ball back to Sandburg. I misspoke myself before. Well, now it looks like they're not going for it.
Yeah, Dalio back to punt, hoping to get it inside the 10 if he can. Singletary drops a short, quick pass to the deep, the short back, I should say. Singletary on the coverage, and the ball was dropped. Nice play. Mike Melichar, the intended receiver, dropped the ball at about the 30-yard line.
Like I said, Tom, looks like they're going for it.
Yeah.
Well, you were right. It was a good call, and I'll tell you right now, they broke the kid out. The coverage wasn't bad, but the ball was a little bit overthrown.
Okay, we'll be right back after a short message from Horton Insurance.
Where are you going for dinner tonight?
Where else? Ciao.
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 Where else? Ciao. Where else? Ciao. Where else? But ciao. Where else? Ciao. Where else? Ciao.
Ciao. Have dinner tonight at Chow. Where else? Call 481-6510.
Are you interested in sports? Well, then check out Sports Talk right here on TV4. Join Jim Banowitz, Marty Burns, Steve Cetera, and Mark Lassig for what's happening today in sports. They discuss national as well as local issues, from the Bulls and the Bears right down to the Rockets and the Stars. That's Sports Talk, Tuesday and Thursday nights at 7:30 and 11:30, right here on TV4.
There's no better place to buy your next new car, truck, or van than Gibson Chevrolet. But hey, don't take my word for it. Come in and see for yourself. We have work trucks, sport trucks and vans, red cars, blue cars, every kind of used car. Boy, I sound like Dr. Zeus. Come on in. You may even have some fun. But most important...
Goldberg, stacked up, stuffed. Young and Wynn leading the charge. In comes Craig Thomas as George Perlish shuttles in running backs. No gain on first down.
This is where those big guys are somewhat of a detriment. Hard to get them to move.
This is the formation a week ago on fourth down from the one they scored on a pass, but it's Thomas. Touchdown, Michigan State.
That was an impressive drive. Three lead blockers here. Thomas keeps it low, and if you can get down on the goal line, Jeff Burris, defensive back in any situation there to make the tackle, you've accomplished a great deal.
Stoyanovich. Ooh, he hits a knuckleball, but it skids through, and Michigan State, on a 14-play drive that took 6.5 minutes, leads at Notre Dame.
4.5 years ago, my father and I were driving our Chevy truck through the Eisenhower Pass in Colorado. The road was complete ice. There was a couple that had gotten out of their car.
25 down there, Dante Moore.
Kevin Fadley, he peeled back and picked off the defensive back to give Chris Prizzi a couple more yards.
And this looks like Dalio down in the field, and if that's Dalio, that's a big loss temporarily for the Astros.
We're trying to get a number on him. We can't see right now.
It's Dalio, I'm pretty sure.
Kevin hit him pretty hard.
Kevin hit him very hard. Probably knocked the wind out of him. He caught him right in the midsection.
Well, you remember a few years ago at, where is it, at Richards?
At Richards, when your defensive back got his collarbone broke.
Oh, yes.
Harrity, Tom Harrity, I think it was.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Tom Harrity got knocked silly. It took Tom Harrity almost 2 weeks to recover.
And that's one of those plays where you're going one way and somebody's coming the other and you don't know it, and all of a sudden, bam, it's...
That is Jim Dalio down on the field. One of our spotters for Jones Cable, George Carpentier, just mentioned that is number 71 down. It's interesting, Shepard came into the game 2-0, and the Eagles came in 1-1. The Eagles came in after beating Waubonsie Valley in the first game very impressively, 30-27, and an excellent team, and then had a letdown against Linkaway. It looks like the right Sandburg team showed up so far tonight, Tom.
Well, this is the right Sandburg team. I'll tell you, right now they're playing outstanding football. I have not seen Shepard play this year, but, you know, they're ranked number 9 in the polls. And it's Ross and company, but I'll tell you, Sandburg is giving them everything they want right now.
A minute 34 to go in the half.
And there you see the Sandburg band getting ready to march out on
coming out there, right?
You go marching band.
And just a little note, this is going to be the first time I'm going to get to see the Sandburg band.
See what you've been missing all these years.
You've always heard them.
I don't know. There's a lot of music in that locker room at halftime too. There's music though that we can't sing the same song out here.
Well, Dalio's up and seems to be no real problem. Must have the wind knocked out of him. He's up and around.
Yeah, he has to come out for at least one play.
There's a lot
First thing you worry about is knee problems and something like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, at halftime, there's oftentimes a lot of golly gees and gee whizzes and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of wouldas and the couldas and the shouldas, you know. And I'll tell you right now, at this halftime is going to be interesting because as of now, it's going to be very, very close.
Prizia, draw, Singletary. Finally brought down inside the 25, down to the 20-yard line. Tony Pryor on the tackle.
That's the old
Alan Ross up there.
The Florida State sprint draw that we put in a couple years ago. Watch this, pass blocking, turnout blocking, and there goes Kevin.
Tom Winecki at Gordon Tech, right?
Oh, yeah, and that's the play that day right now. Jimmy Robleski last year, he gained a lot of yards on that play.
20 yards on that play. He's got 59 yards and 7 carries.
And the Eagles down within field goal range. Prizia back to pass. He's got a receiver. Fahey was bumped on the play. No call.
Oh, boy.
No call over there. Of course, it could have gone either way.
Well, it was an out and up, and Chris had been rolling out, and Kevin had been rolling out into the flat, and he'd been open 3 times out there, and this time the defensive back from Shepard come up, and it's called an out and up pattern, and Kevin headed up the sideline. Very close.
Well, Mike Navarro trying to put some points on the board here.
Yes, he is. It'd be nice to go in at halftime with a lead.
This would be a potentially 37-yard field goal if they got down to that point. They're at the 20-yard line. Prizia. Double tight ends. Fahey in motion. Draw.
That's the sprint draw again.
Singletary inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Middle of the field. What do you think, Coach? 58 seconds. You got...
Well, he's going to work the clock. Michael worked the clock right now. Sandburg has, I believe there are 3 timeouts left, and at least 2. So, no, that's that Washington Redskins counter tray play again, where they pull the guard and the tackle, and Skubik blocks the backside open man, and they've run that play twice, and they've had a lot of success.
I imagine Coach Don Webster will diagram that play on the chalkboard somewhere at halftime.
Oh, yes, he will. Yeah. Yes, he will.
Don Webster from Brother Rice High School, right?
Don Webster from Brother Rice High School and Purdue University. Outstanding defensive back at Purdue.
And you said when you were at St. Lawrence, he scored the...
Well, when I was at St. Lawrence, we played Brother Rice, and Don Webster was a defensive back and offensive back at Brother Rice, and took the opening kickoff 85 yards, and the game was over in 30 seconds. It remained 6-0 or 7-0 at that time, and it was Webster.
That was kind of a high-scoring game for the Catholic League in those days, 6-0, wasn't it? You guys used to have a lot of those.
It was a shootout.
Well, I'll tell you, in the Catholic League, you know, they talk about passing the ball in the Catholic League. You know, the ball was filled with lead. They never threw the ball. They just line up and go after each other.
Yeah, wait for somebody else to make a mistake.
Fred Albert and Fahey flanked off to the right on 3rd and 2. Prizia with the I formation in the backfield. Skubik. Singletary in the tail. Straight drop back. Prizia's got a receiver. Overthrown. Fahey in the flat. Goes to 4th down. Here's your field goal.
Again, Fahey wide open in that flat and just a little bit overthrown, but you're going to see Chris is going to get a little bit of pressure from the Shepard right here. It's drop back pass all the way, and he had somebody in his face, but he overthrew the ball. He's a little anxious tonight. He's off the mark right now. If he calms down, he can become a big factor in this ballgame.
This would be a 30-yard field goal, and remember, Skubik is well within his range. He had that 44-yarder, which won the game over Wabansie Valley with 6 seconds left 2 weeks ago.
Junior quarterback Brian Bulio in the hold for the Eagles.
Skubik's attempt will come from the 21-yard line, make a 31-yard attempt. The set, the kick, it's low, and it's not any good. It's off to the side. Looks like we're going to end on a scoreless note here. 48 seconds to go.
I believe Ross got a piece of that one on the way through. It looked like it came out of the line a little bit funny, and perhaps we can get a second look at it.
If you're close down Webster, did you try to score here, Coach, or just run the ball out?
Well, you want me to tell you what I do from up here? I'd probably put one in the air, but I mean, I can't go wrong.
It's always easy up here. You find out.
I haven't made a mistake this year yet in coaching, and it's been my finest year. I don't know. It's if I were to take a guess, the ball's going to go to Ross, but you know, who knows?
Well, Jensen and Ross in the eye. They went back to a different quarterback again. Now they went back to Barham at quarterback.
And they give the ball to Jensen.
Jensen on the first read. Up to about the 27, 28-yard line.
We've got a real nice crowd here tonight, you know. The Shepard side is almost 90% full, and the Eagles side is real full, except for the band was at, but other than that, it's packed. It's a beautiful night for football.
2nd and 3, this probably will be the last play of the half. They're down to about 15 seconds. Time running as Barham calls the signals. Motion. Under 10 seconds to go. Draw. Alan Ross stacked up.
They have just shut the running lanes off on Ross in the first half. They've done a nice job defensively.
Okay, so that ends the first half. The score is 0-0. Eagles and Astros all tied up, and now a break and a message from Chow Restaurante.
Soaring above the rest, Hawkinson Ford knows you deserve.
Welcome to Hawkinson Ford, where once you're a customer for life. The Hawkinson family has been serving your family for 3 generations now. Come in and see how it feels to buy from family.
Range me. He's the best sharpshooter the Army's got. Beckett is the best. 1 shot, 1 kill. But the most dangerous part of this mission, if at any point Beckett becomes a liability, is his new partner. You're gonna have to take him out.
Our contact is dead.
Tom Berenger.
You don't have any choice about it.
Billy Zane.
You're gonna get us all killed.
Sniper, rated R.
Send up the balloons. It's time to celebrate year-end closeout prices at Community Pontiac GMC Truck. Every 93 Pontiac from Sandburg to Bonneville must be sold to make room for incoming 94 models. Every 93 GMC Truck is discounted for maximum year-end savings. 3.9% financing is still available, and many 93 models have factory rebates from $400 to $1,500. So hurry in. Time is running out on Community's year-end closeout prices. Rush to Community Pontiac GMC Truck in Oak Forest and save.
Cinema Talk Celebrity Promo 5.
Hi, this is Christian Slater. Hi, I'm William Peterson.
Hi, this is Virginia Madsen.
I'm Chris Rock. Hi, I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme.
When I'm in Chicago,
I watch Cinema Talk.
The Smart Choices Cinema Talk, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m., right here on Jones Intercable, TV4.
Watch Cinema Talk, or if not, I'll kick your ass. Get it?
We're back here at the Eagle Field in Orland Park, Illinois, Carl Sandburg Eagle Field. Rob Skubik is set to kick off to begin the second half. Deep.
On the screen, we see the J. Holly Memorial Cup, one in a long line, a series of cup collections. The first one you saw at the beginning of the first half, and there's the second one.
Atkins and Ross Allen are deep to receive this kick. And this is Fahey kicking off for the Eagles. It's not Rob Skubik.
Fahey kicking off. It's not Skubik.
Yeah,
that's kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
I expected to see Rob Skubik kicking off because he's been their kicker, punter and kicker.
Flag on the plate.
And this looks like offside on the kicking team from where the flag is positioned. Quickly, Tom Saliga, what do you expect here in the second half with Shepard getting the ball first? I would think that they'd want to prove something.
Well, it's going to depend, number one, on field position. And they're going to stay with Ross a little bit. But they're going to have to get the ball outside because Sandburg is clogging up the middle defensively. And when you look on the other side of the ball, what does Mike Navarro talk to his kids at halftime? They've had some receivers wide open, and Chris Prizia has to get them the ball. That's going to open up the game. Other than that, I don't think they're going to change their game plans much. It's going to be Ross against Singletary with a little touch of Skubik.
So Fahey from the 35 this time.
Just hope Skubik isn't injured, and that's why Kevin Fahey's kicking off. Look at those steps. Ooh.
Low kick, and it bounces to the 38-yard line, picked up there by Ray Hiller.
Well, I'll tell you, that offside really changed the field position very quick. It gives Shepard the ball on about their 47-yard line, and that's a heck of a big change compared to maybe getting it on a 25 or 30.
Tim, do you have some first half stats there we can?
Yeah, very quickly. Shepard with 56 yards total, all on the ground. Of course, there was not a pass complete in the first half. Ross had 11 carries for 33 yards. And we'll give you Sandburg after this play.
And Rob Skubik is out there playing in his safety position. Barham, the quarterback, to open the second half for the Astros. Hand up to Jensen. Good gain right up the middle. First down past the 37-yard line.
Brought down by Jeff.
43, I should say, down to 42.
Brought down by Jeff Janicek and Brandon O'Daniel.
First down, they give him the ball at the 42-yard line. move the chains.
Very quickly, the Sandburg stats, 97 yards, again, all on the ground. Kevin Singletary had 67 of those on 8 carries, and now he'll be called upon to stop Helen Ross.
Well, the opening play to Jensen caught the Eagles off guard. Jensen at the fullback, Ross in the tail. Play action, there's the option. Barham hit immediately, and there's a penalty flag on the play. It looks like it might be a hold downfield here.
Danny Sullivan.
Based on where that flag was thrown.
It could be a costly penalty for Shepard, and it could be a real break for Sandburg, or vice versa.
It's a clip.
It's going against Shepard. The way they threw that flag gives me the feeling that it's a holding call. Oh, it's a clip. Just as bad.
Brings the ball back to the 46-yard line. They're moving well, they're waiting to move the ball. There's the mark off.
Brandon O'Daniel going over to get some signals from Larry Loking.
Back to the 47, the Shepard 47-yard line.
That's a long walk.
.22 yards or so to go for the first down from the point of the foul. About a 15-yard penalty from the point of the foul.
So far, the biggest gainers in this game have been the penalties.
Sandburg back in their standard 5-2 defense. And there's a inside reverse, flanker reverse. Ralph Pegas, I don't know what you call that, flanker reverse or what do
you would call that a flanker reverse.
Flanker
and
inside,
if they had a lineman pull, I don't know if it was a guard or the backside tackle, and the running back, the fullback, filled for the pulling guard.
Eric Wells stayed home on that one and brought down the runner.
Second and about 17. That was a gain to the Sandburg 49-yard line, a gain of about 4 or 5 on the play. Again, Barham, the quarterback.
Well, here's Singletary again, sitting in that middle position, so it's man-to-man coverage.
They're in their option
okay,
formation.
Back off.
Jensen, the ball carrier, brought down by a number of Eagles. Eric Welch.
That was interesting at the time. Singletary saw that Ross was not going to be involved in the play, so he just deadheaded right in there and hit Jensen.
Matt McCarthy,
Singletary
Danny Sullivan.
So what he's doing is, it's if you look back in many years ago when Alabama had their option offense and they played Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl and Notre Dame come out with a mirror defense, Sandburg is using a mirror defense to cover Shepard right now. And they're putting Singletary in there. He's a free man. He's tough to block, so he can peel off. Now they're going back in their normal defense with Singletary playing the monster back on the wide side.
3rd and 15 from the 47, gain of 2. Here's a drop back, straight drop back by Barham. Good pressure on the play, almost intercepted. Oh, Nelly.
Fran Arioli is pounding on the ground, the traditional hand pounding.
What they did that time was they brought the defensive end with a lot of pressure and they looped Fran Ariola, the defensive tackle, out in the flat for coverage. So he took the place of the drop-off outside back or defensive end. They just switched assignments on that play.
I remember Brother Rice intercepted a pass against Revis in the state championship game one year, doing exactly that thing.
Exactly.
The tackle went back and picked it off.
Dalio to kick. Fahey deep. Good center snap. Dalio gets up a good punt over Fahey's head. Fair catch. Signal ball goes past Fahey down to the 10-yard line where it's going to be down by Treandris Collins.
Not as good as A.B. Camacho, but another great name for Harry Carey.
Once again, the Eagles have poor field position to start a drive.
And here's the battle of field position. They'll have to go 89 yards to score, whereas Shepard the last time only had to go 53, and they didn't get there. But this is a long haul. And it means certain things change for play calling, doesn't it, Tom? I mean, you can't exactly, pull out all the stops when you're this close to your own end zone.
No, but Sandburg's going to be patient. I don't think they're going to do anything what we would say stupid. If they're going to have to punt, they're going to punt to get themselves out. But they're going to take. It's going to be short, quick stuff, and I don't think you're going to see anything out of the ordinary. I'll tell you what this game is coming down to right now. if you've been watching this football game very carefully, and when the ball changes position or hands, you're going to see how many kids leave the field and how many come on. There are a lot of two-way players out there on both sides, and it's becoming a physical battle. It's who is going to be one play better than the other team here pretty soon.
Well, Skubik carried that first down for a gain of about 3, 2nd and 7. Now they're in the eye. Handoff goes to Singletary's play action to pass off to Fahey. Good play action pass. Fahey catches the ball up about the 19-yard line.
Well, basically a safe pass, play action to flat pass, and Chris brought the nose of the ball down, completed the pass. Sandburg now with 3rd and about less than 1.
And it makes Don Webster think about the pass also instead of running inside
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, it sure does, because now his defensive backs can't start crowding Sandburg. And I'll tell you right now, gutsy play down there.
It's got to help Chris's confidence to complete
that
first
pass.
It sure
does, especially in this situation.
Back is against the wall. Now it's at the 19, 3rd and short.
Big play here to get it out.
Throw set in the backfield. Reverse pivot handoff to Skubik. The same play they ran on first down.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is going to be close. It's going to be the mark on this one.
Shepard fans are anticipating the stop here.
It's going to be the mark.
The Shepard fans think they have that stopped.
I'll tell you, that's a great play. I don't. Who's number 70 for
70.
Shepard?
Jay Nowicki.
That was a great stop. I'll tell you, he controlled the center. He stuffed that thing.
One of the little Wiki boys.
The Eagles don't make it, so it's 4th and short. Skubik is in to punt. High center snap. Skubik gets up a good punt. Pass Pryor.
We'll see.
The Eagles down it at about the 42-yard line.
Or just for a second, I thought he touched it.
I did too, but he got out of there, and from up here, it looked. Again, here we go. A long way for Shepard to go, the way they've been playing.
We're under 7 minutes, 6:58 to go in the 3rd quarter. The first completed pass of the evening there, Tim. Do you have that in your stat book?
Finally, it's nice to see one. I'm glad to see that they still are allowed to catch the football on the high school level. I wasn't sure there for quite a while.
Take away the one that was called back by a penalty for illegal receiver downfield earlier.
Right.
That was it. Atkins flanked off here to the right. Jensen and Alan and Ross in the back. Alan Ross in the backfield. There's the option. Pitch to Ross. Good block.
Uh-oh.
And Ross has some room. Leo Kozielinski hits him, can't bring him down. Finally, a few other Eagles come over there. Brandon O'Daniel. And Fran Areola finally bring down Alan Ross, but not before he gets a first down at the 39
Good
of
option
Sandburg.
read by Shepard, and I'll tell you, when Ross turned the corner and squared his shoulders upfield, you got a picture of the true Ross. That's the freight train in motion.
6'2", 230 coming at you.
And Leo Kozielinski is all of 5'10", 164. We tried to make that initial hit. There's the give to Ross off the right side. Welch. Singletary.
That time, Kevin Singletary was in the middle on that mirror-type defense again. He made the tackle, but Shepard is coming off the ball right now. We talked about that earlier in the game where that offensive line was hesitating. They're coming off. If you get Ross 2 steps behind the offensive line, he's going to cause problems. I mean, he's a load.
Mike Gerhartstein on the tackle also. So a gain of 8 makes it 2nd and 2. 5.5 minutes to go here. 3rd quarter, no score. Hand off to Ross. And a number of Eagles are there to meet Ross.
That's a great job by Brandon O'Daniel. I'll tell you, Brandon stepped up and filled that hole like a man. He made himself big in the hole, and he took Ross on that time.
3rd and very short. It looks like they're calling for measurement, official measurement out here. Who's on the chain crew? I don't see John Slaney down there. John's sick.
John Slaney has numerous problems. He has pneumonia and he has arthritis. He has some problems. So I would see who is on the chain crew down there. Sound of the men working on the chain gang.
Yeah, it looks like they might have just made it by the nose of the football. First down, Astros.
This is really the first sustained drive of the game.
Yes, it is, and it's the best Ross has looked all ball game. But, you know, there's still 29 yards to go, so you never know.
The option pitch was the play that really made it.
It was the play.
Barham a quarter. Jensen and Ross again in the eye. Slot to the left. Barham carries the ball. Gain of about 4. Past the 35-yard line.
Met by Singletary and Eric Welsh.
As soon as Barnum reversed out, he looked right at that defensive end, and he had that defensive end froze. Dan didn't know whether to go after Ross or just play cat and mouse. As soon as Barnum saw that, bam, upfield, 5 yards. 2nd and 5, good position to be in.
You have to have such great respect for Ross on that play. Slot left. I formation. Hand off to the deep back, Alan Ross. He's got yardage. He's past the first down marker. Singletary. Dan Sullivan. Fran Areola on the tackle.
Right now it's becoming a physical football game. Shepard's getting off the ball. It's a trap. They kick out on the defensive end, and Ross right up behind that pulling lineman, and he gets beyond that line of scrimmage, and he could take the linebackers on head on. It's becoming a physical battle in there now. Very physical.
What you don't want to hear for Sandburg are the names like Dan Sullivan making the tackle. You want to hear the names like
right. No, you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear.
Second,
you don't want to hear Sullivan. You don't want to hear Skubik or Singletary or Leo. You know, yes, you want to hear up front. You want to hear Brandon O'Daniel. You want to hear Janisek. You want to hear Slaney. And that's what you heard at the start of this ball game for the first half.
Is this as a result now of adjustment that Webster makes, or you just think that the offensive line is getting off the ball better?
I think the offensive line is getting off the ball better, but, you know, Donnie has made an adjustment. First of all, he switched quarterbacks. He's giving Sandburg not a steady diet of power football, but he's going inside, outside, inside, outside. And what's happening right now is the end result is here we are. We're down around the 15-yard line, 17-yard line.
Maybe he gave him the old win one for Freedom 7 speech. That works at Shepard now.
Freedom 7 from Alan.
If you're old enough, you know what that means.
Alan B. Shepard.
What would Larry Locate be telling the defense? Is he going to make some adjustments, or?
Probably what Larry's telling him right now is read your keys, read your offensive set, because normally teams will do certain things out of sets, and probably Sandburg is just getting away from their defensive keys right now, and as soon as they do that, they're just opening up a door.
Ball at the 18-yard line. Motion man stops
Kick out
right
block.
behind the quarterback.
That's your blast.
And there's Ross tripped up. I don't know who made that trip there, but it was a good thing that it happened for the Eagles, because Ross had a lot of yardage if he didn't get tripped. As it was, he got past the 15 down to about the
That's a blast play. That motion man just steps up in there, and he becomes a kick-out man. Now they're going to lead Williams and that kick-out man in there, and they're sending Ross with a load, and they're saying, all right, Sandburg, step up and stop it.
So we've got about 3.5 minutes to go in the third period. Still no score in this game.
2nd and 5. Power right backfield. Here's the motion. This time he stops. No gain on a play. That was Jensen with the football.
They tried a short trap to the fullback right over the center position that time, and I have to say that probably Slaney and
Eric Welch
and that young kid McCarthy made an excellent play on that, because they just stuffed it. They never got the trap off.
Lost a couple yards, so it goes now to about 3rd and 7, back to about the 15-yard line.
McCarthy something. How many juniors do you remember playing both ways for you, Tom?
Oh, not many. And he's a rarity. I mean, when a junior's in there playing both ways, that's an excellent athlete.
Slot left, I formation. Barham keeps the football down to the 10, inside the 10. It's going to set up about a 4th and 2 for the Astros.
Excellent read by the quarterback. He did all he could, but I'll tell you right now, great recovery by Sandburg defense. It's crunch time now. Oh, he's going to read the end. Here he comes. All of a sudden, the end says to him, I'm stepping outside, so Barnum's going inside. Also, they had a offensive lineman wheel on that player, and it opened up the lane.
Ball marked at the 10-yard line. Fourth
Here
down
we go
and 2.
now.
Big play. Biggest play of the game right now.
We're in that mirror defense.
Barham reads it. Up the middle. Touchdown.
Shepard fans on their feet here. Pack stands.
We'll see a replay on this.
First score of the ball game here makes it 6-0 Astros.
Here it is right now. Here he comes. All right. They froze that outside man. I have to think that Sandburg was in man-to-man coverage. Everybody had somebody to cover. When you're in man-to-man and you freeze that outside player, that lane was just wide open right there. Big point right here.
Yeah, real big point.
Big point right here.
Dalio to attempt. The hold is John Quillinen.
Is that Dalio? Is he kicking right-footed for the extra point?
Well, this is interesting. Does Dalio punt left-footed and kick right-footed?
That's what I'm just saying.
This is an amazing young man.
Tim, when was the last time we reported an ambidextrous punter and kicker? I can't remember that ever.
I'll tell you right now, when they have the homecoming, this kid is in demand with feet like that. I mean, he can punt with the left, he can kick with the right. He shouldn't have any trouble getting a date to the prom.
Should be a great dancer.
1:54 left in the third quarter. The Astros, the Shepard Astros, have finally gotten on the board. 7-0 right now.
Now we'll see how Sandburg responds. Now is the crunch time for Sandburg, the most important series that they'll have tonight, Tom.
It's going to be a very important series, but you know, you look over at the clock, Tim, and there's 1:54 to go and 12 minutes plus. So I'll tell you right now, I don't think the 7-0 score for Shepard is safe. You know, and I think Donnie thinks the same thing. One more on the board, and I think he could breathe a little easy. But I'll tell you right now, Sandburg will be coming at you.
That was about a 57-yard drive, if I got the start of the drive correctly.
And Guida and Fahey are deep to receive Dalio's kick here. Let's see how he kicks off.
Shepard showed their power on that one.
Let's see how he kicks off. Does he kick off left-footed or right-footed?
Well, if he kicks off left-footed, he's a story in himself.
Yeah, he kicks off
left-footed.
Kicked a point after right-footed. Figure that out.
Oh.
Number 33.
That was Mike McCarthy, yeah. McCarthy returns the ball to about the 23-yard line.
Well, right here, this is not a good sign. This ball is caught, but watch what happens right here. He just kind of delays. I don't know what he's looking for. And, you know, we get back to that old saying, he who hesitates, and it's exactly what you want somebody to do. And I'll tell you, they were coming with a load on the Shepard side.
Like you think he didn't get that ball knocked loose for a fumble?
Well, we'll see what Chris Prizzi does now. Here goes Kevin.
Fahey was split left Singletary up the middle for a gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Brought down on a play by Jay Nowicki. Good gain on first down.
One of the things that may enter in as we enter the fourth quarter here, we've got 7 players on Sandburg that play both ways. Got Eric Wells, Areola, Slaney, McCarthy, Singletary, Dan Sullivan, and Skubik. And you have, well, about 3 or 4 players that play both ways. 5 players that play both ways on Shepard.
2nd and 4 in Guida.
Oh, I'll tell you, big play right there. Brian Anguita spins out of the grasp of the defensive player and all of a sudden picks up that first down or close to it. It could have been 3rd and about 4 or 5, and it's 3rd now at probably less than a yard.
3rd and very short.
You can't tackle Brian Anguita around the shoulders.
Sandburg like to get a nice sustained drive going here.
Yeah, they would.
Anguita in the tail. Skubik at fullback. Anguita off the right side has the first down past the 35 to the 37-yard line.
When you watch Brian Anguita run, Brian Anguita has something that you cannot coach. Brian Anguita's eyes are always working, and Brian Anguita is looking for any opening he can find. He's liable to bend one back here pretty soon and catch Shepard's defense roving the wrong way.
Dalio and John Farsadis on the tackle over there. Timeout Shepard.
Their defensive coordinator looks pretty upset.
Donnie Webster's upset about something.
Don Webster had a few things to say before he went out there on the field to talk to his team.
He was yelling at the water boy to get the water out there faster, but that's oftentimes he's lashing out at anybody who's around him.
12 seconds to go here in the third quarter, so that we'll switch positions here in a few seconds.
Well, the wind is not a factor tonight, so you don't have to worry about that.
Interesting that he would call timeout here because they are going to get the break at the end of the quarter. You wonder if maybe he burned one here that perhaps he shouldn't have.
Yeah, and you also wonder how mad he really was. Looks like he lost.
Also, you know, he may have picked something up on the field that tells him I better get out and talk to these kids because Sandburg is set into something that they're liable to make an adjustment and hit an open man. So Donnie saw something out there that he wanted a timeout.
Kevin Singletary checks into the game for the Eagles, so he'll be in the tail.
There's a great football game being played on the field, and there's a great football game being played on the sidelines between Webster and Clutchard and Navarro and Lokink.
Skubik and Singletary in the eye. Frisbee at quarterback. Handoff to Singletary off the left side. Dives for about a yard or two. Make it 2nd and 9. And that's the end of the third quarter.
Looked like Skubik shaking up a little bit there.
Okay, that ends the third quarter. The score, Shepard 7, Sandburg 0, and a message from Jones Intercable.
Come on, nobody else pays for broadcast TV. Why should we?
We don't believe anyone should have to pay for programs others see for free. But some local broadcasters want cable companies to pay for improving broadcasters' signals and delivering their programs into your home. That's the issue we're fighting.
I heard that some TV stations won't let the cable companies run their programs unless cable pays them.
That's possible, and Jones Intercable is trying hard to convince broadcasters not to let that happen.
As independent insurance agents, Horton Insurance Agency can offer the policies of many leading insurance companies. But to meet the personal insurance needs of their business and professional clients, Horton selects the Universal Security Policy from CNA. The USP policy offers expanded coverages prepared by people who understand hired valued homes and other benefits of financial success at exceptional rates that reflect the superior risks you represent. Horton Insurance Agency and CNA, ensuring your success.
We're back for the fourth quarter. Shepard holding a 7-0 lead over the Sandburg Eagles. This is the first conference game in the Sitka North for both of these teams.
It's a heck of an opener for both teams.
Sure, this is Mike Navarro's first game as a head coach at home.
Yes, it is.
The Eagles have 2nd and 9 here to start the quarter. Delayed handoff to Singletary. He's got room. He breaks to the outside. He's got room down the sidelines. He's finally pushed out of bounds.
What balance that kid has, doesn't he?
Oh, he's a great athlete.
Shane Doty was chasing him on the play. Finally chased him out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. First down for the Eagles.
We're going to take a look at this on replay. It's that Washington Redskins play again where the two linemen pull, except Kevin bent it way back to the other side. And I think we mentioned before, if they bend it back and they're going to catch that Shepard defense rolling the wrong way, over pursuing.
Well, you know, Kevin Singletary's father, Cal, has that on tape. He's our backup Jones Cable cameraman. If our tape goes out, go to Cal.
You have a good backup, man.
Yeah, Cal will have it.
Singletary again. He's got room. He breaks to the outside. He may go in. Touchdown, Singletary.
No flags on the field, none.
No flags.
A 32-yard touchdown run for Kevin Singletary, and this sets up an interesting situation, Coach.
It sure does, and it's here we go again. I don't know if it's the same play, but watch Kevin. It's a sprint draw, and Kevin breaks it to the backside and catches all of Shepard's pursuit, rotating over to the other side of the field. So what happened on that play is Kevin started right and bent it back left, and the whole Shepard defense, they started to flow. It's going to be interesting. Kicking tee is out there, but that doesn't mean anything because the holder is a little kid by the name of Bugalo, and Bugalow's got a pretty good arm.
Sandburg's team shows a lot of character coming back.
Oh, they sure do.
7-6. Fahey going to attempt this extra
point.
point.
Oh, look at this.
Come on, Kevin.
Set us down. It's blocked. 7-6 remains the score here. The Astros block. Number 29, Ray Hiller, came in off the right side and blocked that extra point attempt.
Big play for Shepard.
Big play for Shepard. But 11:43, I'll tell you, Donnie Webster right now wants to put one on the board in a hurry because Sandburg has Skubik and they have Fahey, and you know what Skubik did over at Wabansie Valley. So this game is in reach, you know, and we really don't know what Delio could do. It just depends on what foot he wants to use if they get in there.
Tim, do you have any stats on that drive?
All of a sudden, Singletary is not only over 100 yards, but over 140. He gained 34 yards on the play previous to the touchdown and then 32 on the score. So he's at 141 on 12 carries. But I tell you what, that point that wasn't made there, that extra point, may really come back to haunt Sandburg. I just wonder if Shepard's going to give up big plays like that again the rest of the night.
Well, you know what's really interesting is Ross powered that last drive, and now Singletary powers this drive for Sandburg. So the two big backs have come to the front now.
Fahey's kick comes down to about the 27-yard line. Fielded there by Jason Grimchuk, returns it to the 37-yard line. 38. First and 10 Astros.
What it's coming down to right now is really it's coming down to who's going to last longer than the other person, because both teams are keeping their key players on the field for the whole ball game.
I don't want to jinx anybody, Coach, but nobody's given up the football yet.
No, they haven't, not yet.
And there's been some awfully hard hitting out there.
It's been a great game so far.
Looked like a missed play. Intercepted! Kevin Fahey down to the 32-yard, just as we say it.
Well, if it would have been a fumble on Sandburg, you'd have been thrown off this platform.
Well, we can forget the word yet.
Big play for Kevin.
Not only that, now Sandburg is in a position where, you know, in another 12 or 15 yards, they have two kids that can put it through the goalpost.
The plays that have been working, sprint draw and that counter tray, or whatever you want to call it.
That's right. That's Sandburg's second interception of the year. The first one was against Wabansie when Singletary rang it back for 65 yards and the score.
That's right.
And
Fahey splits out. Anguita's in the tail right now. Brizzi with the football. Incomplete off to the side for Fred Albert. Fred had the ball in his hands.
Just a quick release by the tight end into the flat. The flanker went down about 10 yards and peeled back. We have an injured player down here. I don't know if it's so much an injury. I'll tell you what's going to start to occur now. You're going to start to get leg cramps because of being on the field so long. I think this will be the problem. If it's Ross, he has to come out for one play.
You can't see if he's trying to bend his leg straight or not, trying to get that toe of his foot pressed back to pull that.
If I were to take a guess, I'd say Ross has leg cramps right now.
And there's Dr. Lloyd Blakeman walking on the field. Isn't that Dr. Blakeman out there?
That's Dr. Blakeman.
How many games has he been at Sandburg? Jeez.
How many games has Sandburg played since the school opened? And I think you'll get your answer.
Jeez. Yeah, we were tracing back before the history of Sandburg coaching, starting with Joe Devine to Cliff E, to you, Tom Saliga, and then now to Mike Navarro, 4 coaches in Sandburg's proud history. A lot of tradition in Sandburg football.
Yes, there is.
Tremendous tradition.
And, you know, getting back to Doc Blakeman, he was in the office yesterday, and he wanted to know what time the game was so he could close up the office early and get here. So you know where his priorities are.
Oh, yeah.
He's an amazing man.
He certainly is. Yeah, that's Ross, and he looks like he's it looks like it's probably a cramp the way he's kind of sitting
Yeah,
forward.
It looks like a leg cramp.
Well, that was one of the strategies of Sandburg, was to try to wear Ross down to keep going at him, and he was playing linebacker and running back.
Yeah, he has to come out for one play, and
he's pretty upset. You know, he's a real competitor.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, that's a leg cramp. Yeah, that's the old calf muscle. Got a knot like a tennis ball down there, probably.
10:41 to go in the football game. The Shepard Astros lead 7-6 at this point. But the Eagles are on the drive, started by an interception by Kevin Fahey. 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass there.
We see the momentum swinging back and forth in this game. That's the interesting thing about high school athletics.
It sure is. It sure is.
And Kevin Singletary's back in the tail for the Sandburg Eagles. Esprizia, draw. Singletary inside the 25 to the 23-yard line, close to the first down.
And I'll tell you right now, Kevin Singletary is running with authority. I mean, he is not going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage. Look at this in the replay. He's running, and he is throwing his shoulders and his upper body into the Shepard defense and saying, okay, if you're going to bring me down, you're going to go for one heck of a ride.
And 150 yards for Singletary now on the rush.
3rd and about 1.5 yards for the Eagles. Esprizia has the ball deep. Fahey catches the ball inside the 5, about the 3-yard line. It's a completed pass. Down to the 2, Kevin Fahey, the man who started this.
What a sweet play by Fahey, and what a great throw as well.
Well, yeah, it was. It was an excellent throw, and I'll tell you, you talk about ball sense. Watch Kevin Fahey keep his feet in bounds on the catch. Excellent throw, excellent catch. And you know, we mentioned, what did Mike Navarro talk about at halftime? I said, he told Chris Prisdia, you're going to have to get some completed passes if we're going to open this up. And Chris is 2 for 2, I do believe, right now. And
he's not sailing him like the first half.
No, he's throwing him. He's not guiding it right now. He's throwing it.
Eagles in position to take the lead here, down 7-6. Prisdia, Singletary, stacked up in the backfield. Dalio first on the hit, along with Alan Ross. Ross back in the football game.
In the ball game.
2nd and goal from the 1.
Do you keep going with Singletary here, Coach, or do you want to?
I think you'll go with Singletary one more time. I really do. And then you'll see Skubik on a quick fullback blast. They're in a power eye now. They'll probably go with Singletary. They're probably coming to right side.
Fahey in the power eye. Singletary up the right side. Down to the goal line. No signal. We're going to 3rd down. Got to be very short yardage now.
Could be Singletary again, or else they're going to give it to Skubik real quick.
No quarterback sneak?
Could very well be. We got 3 options right now. Pretty good defense by Shepard.
Yeah, he tripped him up in the backfield on that one. Shepard stands up at mass trying to...
Shepard's in their goal line defense. Here we go.
3rd and goal. Skubik at fullback. Singletary in the tail. Fahey in the power eye. Prisdia fumbles the center snap, and it's on the ground, covered by the Eagles, but it's going to be covered by the Astros.
What a bad break for the Eagles. Tough break.
Nelly. So quick as the turnovers can go with you, they go against you.
Was that Jay Nowicki, the down lineman, the defensive lineman, made the play coming in low and hard?
Well, now you got to look up on this. Now you've got Shepard pinning their territory, and you hope for another turnover.
You do, yeah.
You just got to turn it around, try to make it a positive thing.
Well, Tom said a minute ago, you know, nobody's turned the ball over so far in the last 2 minutes. We've had 2 of them.
And you can see they're getting tired. Ross gets the leg cramps, a couple of turnovers that didn't happen earlier.
Well, quarterback sneak. Well, Donnie Webster just trying to get this ball out of there so they can punt it. And while he's doing that, he's going to hope that they bust something open here.
And he's going to try to run a lot of clock while he's doing it.
Under 8 minutes, we're down to 7:40 to go here in the football game.
To run down the clock, he has to have 3 or 4 first downs.
Okay.
7-6 Shepard right now. Eagles missed a golden opportunity there. 3rd and goal.
He just switched quarterbacks.
Pryor's back in at quarterback. Pryor's the thrower. You may want to toss out of this. Motion. There's your kick-out block. Ross with the football. Oh, what a nice hit.
Nice tackle. Who is that? 81. That's
Czar.
Czar. Brian Czar with a real nice stop. Hit him low, just like you said.
Yep. Junior, that's been hurt for a couple weeks and has come in and has done an outstanding job. And if you take a look at that play, they made Ross reroute on that. Is that Ross down again with his cramps? Yep, there he is. He's going to have that problem for the rest of the game.
Okay, well, now we'll take a break for a message from Terry's Lincoln Mercury.
One name means more satisfied customers.
Terry's. More car for less money. More service with less hassle. More commitment to your complete satisfaction. When we hand over the keys to a Terry's new or used car, we put our reputation on the road. Terry's Lincoln Mercury, Orland Park. Terry's Buick of Blue Island. Terry's Ford Lincoln Mercury of Peatone. Terry's Buick Nissan in Bradley. We want to be your car dealer.
One name means more satisfaction. Terry's.
When it comes to award-winning programming, cable has an ace up its sleeve. Cable Ace Award winners define excellence in programming with a dedication to quality entertainment you won't find on plain TV. Your subscription to Jones Intercable opens up a world of unequaled family, educational, and informational series and specials. Day after day, cable brings home the best programming you'll find on television. You're the winner with Jones Intercable. It's a smart choice.
Who has the highest customer satisfaction rating in the South Suburbs? Shaver Mitsubishi Chevrolet Geo in Homewood. That's who. They've been at the same location for over 25 years, giving their customers unbeatable deals and great service. And right now, Shaver has the new 1993 Mitsubishi Eclipse for an unbelievable $99.94. Hey, it's built right here in Bloomington, Illinois. Drop in on Shaver Mitsubishi Chevrolet Geo at 180th and Halstead in Homewood, or call 799-3600.
Alan Ross is coming off the field again here for the Astros. Alan has played a tremendous football game. How many carries does he have, Tim? How many carries does Alan Ross have?
Alan Ross with 17 carries. I don't know how many more he'll get tonight for 75.
Astros with their backs to the wall, 3rd and 8, inside their 5-yard line. They picked up a fumble by the Eagles on 3rd and goal, and the Eagles stacked that play up.
Eagles swarmed all over him.
Sure did. That was a counter. It was send that man in motion and made Sandburg think that it was going to be that blast play with that Mo man leading in, and they just reversed back and ran a trap with the tailback, but they picked up little or none.
There was Treandrus Collins in there for Ross, so Ross is out of the football game right now, and he's still being worked on the sidelines here.
It's a lot easier playing defense on Shepard when you don't have the specter of Alan Ross to guard against. You go back to normal defense. Ross has got a pretty severe leg cramp in his right calf. They're working on it, but the second time he's gone down with it.
Well, in the next 6 minutes and 13 seconds, Ross is going to be in and out of this ball game a couple times. They're not going to get that thing solved.
And we were talking while we were off on the break. Are they going to miss him more as a running back, or they're miss him more as a linebacker? And
that's an interesting question. And right now, Sandburg dropped 2 people off, so they have a return on. I don't think they're going to go after it. They're going to let them punt the ball. They want field position.
Delio punting.
They want this catch.
Fahey over his head. It's out of bounds about the 43-yard line of the Astros.
Is your heart still beating, Tom?
Yeah, it's still here. And I'll tell you, this is an outstanding football game.
Wow.
Sandburg right now with 42 yards to go and 5:55 to do it.
That's exactly what you just thought they would get to field position when we talked before. It's about 40-yard line.
About the 40-yard line. Yeah, I said that Shepard had to pick up a first down and get out of trouble. And when Ross went out of the game.
And Ross is still out of the football game, still being worked on over here. So there's.
I don't know who their backup linebacker is, but they're going to work this kid over.
Frizia. Gerardo Singletary slips at the line of scrimmage, gets a gain of about 2 to the 40.
That was a great play by number 59 from Shepard. Defensive lineman. Boy, Shack come across low and hard and got Kevin right around the ankles. If it wasn't for Shack, I'll tell you, it's 8 to 10 yards.
It's 5'8", 225-pounder, senior, one of their top players, the Shack attack.
Skubik and Singletary in the eye. Hand up to Singletary. Gain of 5 yards, maybe 6, past the 35 down to about the 34-yard line.
A question that's got to be going through all the Eagles fans' minds is, can Skubik kick the field goal? Why did Fahey kick the extra point? Is Rob's leg all right to kick? Is he going to kick the longer field goal if they have a chance? That's the things that you wonder.
Question, and I don't have the answer because all week long I was under the impression that Skubik was the kicker, but Kevin Fahey, he can do it.
3rd and 3 for the Eagles at their own, at the Astro 35. And Singletary stacked up in the backfield.
That's about their best stop of the night.
Shane Doty, along with Jay Nowicki.
That was number 75 that made that initial shot. I'll tell you, he come down with a load.
That's our favorite name, A.B. Camacho.
A.B. Camacho.
A.B. is a 6'2", 255-pounder, makes Harry Carey's Hall of Fame name list.
4th and 3 for the Eagles. 4:14 to go, and the clock is running.
Is it going to be the sprint draw, or is it going to be the pass out here in the flat? That's the big question right now.
And it is the pass, but it's not in the flat. Frisdia swarmed under. Loss of about 3 on the play. Ball goes over to Shepard.
Big stop for the Astros there.
Big stop for the Astros, and if you look downfield, you have to give credit to Shepard's secondary because they had to play well covered. Chris did exactly what he had to do. He had no other option but to try to take it up the middle because they had everything boxed off, and a big play.
A.B. Camacho and Bill Scheck.
Not only a big play, look at how the field position has just changed.
A couple of the players in on that. So the Astros with 3:40 to go, protecting a 1-point lead here, have the football. Need 1 first down. Jensen with the football. Eric Welsh, Fahey, Brandon O'Daniel, Leo Kozielinski. How many other names can you come up with there, Doug?
Well, Jensen's not going to get many yards like that. He's running like a telephone pole, and I'll tell you, when you go in like that, you're going to come flying back out. You know, it has to be all shoulders and take on the load.
That's a good. I always heard runners run straight up, but running like a telephone pole. That's a good way to put it. He's going to get shellacked doing that.
Shepard needs a first down. They need a first down. They don't want to give this ball back to Sandburg.
And without Ross, it's a tough thing for them to do.
No gain on the play. Hand off to the tailback. That's Treandrus Collins off the right side. Gain of about 2. 2:45 to go and the clock ticking. Eagles sitting with all their timeouts, I'm pretty sure.
Challenge for Larry Loking's defense to rise to the occasion and get that ball back.
Another Astro on down on the field.
I think Sandburg has all their first downs or their timeouts. I lost track of them, to be honest with you. There was a timeout call earlier, but I don't know if it was Sandburg or Shepard that made the call.
Yeah.
There was one called by Shepard, remember, at the end of the third quarter.
Sandburg just took a timeout right now.
There goes Ross back in the game. He's limping noticeably, though, as he comes in. The trouble with that calf muscle, that's what you push off of to accelerate. And as soon as you push off, it's going to lock up on you again.
If Shepard picks up a first down and keeps the ball, Ross is going to come back out again. It's going to cramp up on him.
Well, the situation is 3rd and 8.
Tom, is this a situation where Shepard puts Ross in just to use as a decoy? Sandburg obviously has to pay attention to him, and they'll try something else.
Yeah, I think they have to pay attention to him because, you know, he's the cannon that Shepard has loaded to fire, but, you know, this Barnum kid runs the option pretty good, too. So I don't think they're going to go up the middle on this, and I don't think they're going to throw the ball. I think you look for option right now. Donnie put the ball up once, and it was disastrous, and he would rather take his chance to get a first down now by the ground, or he's going to punt, and then he's going to punt the ball if he doesn't, and say to Sandburg, all right, you're going to have to go 70-plus yards, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you're right, absolutely. Shepard's offense this year, 92% of it has come on the ground. I think it'll be 100% from this point forward. Tom?
And when you have Ross in the game, he freezes your defensive players, which opens up the option more. Let's see what happens.
3rd and 8 motion. Here's a kick-out blocker.
Oh, boy.
And it's a play-action pass. Barham still has the football, throws over the head of James Atkins, who was open down at the 45-yard line. Makes a 4th down and 8 situation. Now here's your punt.
But I'll tell you, here we go. It's great coaches up here again. This kid rolls out. He has nobody out here. He takes off with the football. He's on his way. Donnie knows it. Everybody knows it. Unfortunately, the quarterback didn't know it.
Yeah. That's another big break for Sandburg. That ball was, that boy was wide open there.
He was.
So about 2.5 minutes to go. Still 7-6 in favor of the Astros over the Eagles. Fourth quarter.
Sandburg with two deep people back, so it's telling me that, well, you never know. They may have a rush off of this. I'm not sure.
Dalio to kick.
Danny Sullivan just missed the kicker.
Fair catch by Skubik at the 31-yard line.
Skubik and Fahey were back for the Eagles on that.
So almost 70 yards to go for the Eagles here, but they have maybe 50 yards to get in the field goal range, would you say?
About 68 yards to go. It's going to be interesting. 2:27 to go. Let's see what happens.
This has turned into one heck of a game, hasn't it? This is a great game.
Outstanding football game. It's a shame, and regardless, somebody's going to have to lose it. It's been an outstanding football game, I'll tell you.
One of the many long line of outstanding Sandburg football games.
To give to Singletary, no gain. Second down.
I hate to say this too, but when was the last time we had a flag on the field? This is almost an error-free game by both teams.
It's been an excellent game, and I don't think there's been a flag. I don't know if they had a flag in the second half, have they?
No, Tom, no flags at all in the second half, and it's amazing. You know, Sandburg last week, as you see 2 players down. Sandburg last week penalized 13 times, only 2 times for each team, and tonight, and both times in the first half.
One Eagle, one Astro down, I believe.
Yeah, we can't get the numbers, but as soon as we do, we'll let you know.
Well, one of them is not Alan Ross because he's coming off the field there. He's out there still limping noticeably.
I'll tell you what, I'm seeing a quarterback take a snap, so that's telling me that a center's down.
Okay, Rick Dickinson would be down for...
Yeah, it's telling me a center because if you look beyond the players that are down, there's a seat. And to be perfectly honest with you, that's not supposed to happen. They cannot, that quarterback that's in the ball game cannot come over and get practice snaps from a center coming in the game. The official just noticed it and waved it off. But it's telling me that it's Dickinson because Chris Prizzi is taking some practice snaps.
Maybe they could build a wall around Chris and he can take a few more center snaps over there. Get your people behind him there in front of him.
Well, if he goes to the sideline and takes snaps, he's out for at least one play.
You mentioned Rick Dickinson's father. Dick Dickinson had been real active for many, many years in Pioneer football. And that's part of one of the feeder programs that you guys have had, along with the St. Michael's football program and
the Orland Pioneers, St. Mike's, and the Knights.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the reason that the Sandburg players are so disciplined and are excellent football players is not only because of the Mike Navarros and the Lokanks and the rest of them, the Wurzals and the Vasconceloses. I'll tell you, Dick Dickinson has had a lot to do with Sandburg football. I know when I was coaching, I spent a lot of time talking to Dick, and he knew all the players that were coming up, and he gave us a lot of insight on the players.
And the Pegas, Ralph Pegas is the injured player, Tim?
Pegas was the injured Shepard player, and he's up, walking off under his own power, limping just a bit right now. Maybe they collided head-to-head, Tom. That's the scariest thing you can have happen in a football game, of course, but it looks like he's all right. And Dickinson is being attended to by several people now.
Oh, one of the things I wanted to mention was at the Eagles football game, some people that really do a lot of work are the people in the concession stand. And you've got Matty Slaney runs that. You got the Eagles Nest, and you got the little trailer down there. You got Ron Bulio and Bill Fitzgerald down there frying up stuff. That's a lot of work. And if you ever come out to a game, you should really go over there and patronize those places. Those people put an awful lot of time and effort to do that.
And you know, it's all volunteer help. You see the chain gang, it's all volunteer help. You see the people in the concessions and the parents that are helping out. I'll tell you right now, if anybody wants an evening of fun and $3 or $4 worth of an enjoyment, they should come out and watch high school sports. Football, volleyball, basketball, you know, baseball. No, you can't beat it. I'll tell you, it's, you know, you're watching your neighbor, you're watching the boys in the community or girls in the community participate, and a lot of the things you read in the paper about the problems we're having now, come on out and see some of the good people in action.
Some of the positive stuff that's going on.
This is a part of football that I don't care how long you're in it, it's hard to stomach. You know, you like to see a lot of contact, you like to see hard hits, but I'll tell you right now, this is the part you just hate to see.
Looks like they're helping him up right now.
This is an outstanding young man. This boy has come a long way. I'll tell you, he was a junior last year and my last year of football, and he's a hard worker. And I tell you, I can't say enough good things about what he's done and to achieve the starting assignment as a center here. He's worked very, very hard. He's not a real big boy.
Yeah, Rick Dickinson listed at 5'11", 180.
And of course, right now, Doc Blakeman taking charge of this, if you will, and making sure that they don't move him before they know that he's just fine. You don't want to take any chances if it's a head injury, a neck injury, something like that. Of course, we have no idea knowing what it is. We hope it's nothing serious at all, but they're going to make sure that he's just fine before they can move him off the field.
Another thing we can mention is that a trainer for many, many years at Sandburg retired, went to John Water. He didn't retire from teaching, just retired from training. He became a new trainer this year at Sandburg.
Yeah, we do, and you know, John has helped him out quite a bit and still tried to stay in the background. And I'll tell you, if John Water is here somewhere, he's cringing a little bit. Well, Rick Dickinson is up walking around, and I'll tell you right now, that's a great sign. John Water and I are taking up golf now, incidentally. We're out trying to readjust Silver Lake in a little bit, and
it's amazing. You enjoy coaching, but it really takes up an awful lot of time. And unless you're involved in it, you don't realize high school coaching today is now almost a 12-month job. It's not
I'll tell you, high school coaching is 12 months because, you know, if you take a week or two off, you get criticized because your opponent's not. And
right.
You also have to realize that we have to teach 5.5 hours a day. We have to get ready for a game. It's practices, it's summer programs. It's a little bit different. You know, when you're in college, you go in the morning and you have your coffee and you sit at the chalkboard and you plan all week for something. Yeah. These guys do not have that luxury, believe me. They have to teach, and they're educators first.
Not to mention looking at game films all the time, too, which takes up a lot of time.
And I'll tell you, when people say, I used to say I get up at 4 in the morning, I said, you're nuts. Said, that's the only time you can do it without anybody interfering with you.
Back to action here. Play action.
Ooh.
Pass intended for
That's
Skubik.
That play again to Skubik sliding out of the backfield into the flat, and the wide receiver is clearing for him.
Rob Skubik is limping on that play.
3rd and 11.
Himself.
You know, come to think of it, Doug, Rob Skubik has been limping a lot tonight.
That might be
the reason,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, Skubik plays both ways. That's awful hard to do, is play both ways and be a kicker. You know, go back to even players that played in our kickers.
Big down right here,
anymore.
3rd and about 12.
Straight drop back. Frizia off in the flat to Fred Albert. Albert up to about the 37, 38-yard line.
Well,
it's going to be 4th and about 3.
What do you do here? You got a minute to go.
Here's where we have the best coaching spot of all right now, all right? What do?
This is the best seat
we
there.
We just stay here and see what Navarro does.
Make it 4th and 4.
What's the old line from the Cubs game? Sit back and let Don Webster and Mike Navarro do your work.
I mean, with a minute and 30, he's not going to punt the ball. He can't punt the ball.
Can't punt it. They'll just run it out. What do you do here? A quick snap?
Well, he better make sure his guys are set first.
They are.
Albert and Fay, you have to
It's
left.
Kevin on the sprint draw.
Nope.
And he's stacked up. The Astros have held as Dalio, along with Craig Padgett on the stop.
I'll tell you, he didn't make it, but that was a very good call because it was a play where you show pass and then you come back and you give it to your #1 gun. He's going to get criticized for it, but I'll tell you, that was an excellent football call. It just didn't work, and those things happen.
Right, that's exactly what happens.
And the Astros appear to have dodged the bullet on that 3rd and 1 play when Sandburg was down in striking distance of the goal line. Looks like the Astros are going to go out of here with a 7-6 victory. Down to about a minute to go.
Stranger things have happened, though.
Right, yeah. Maybe Sandburg can strip the ball. Sandburg has some timeouts left, right? They'll probably take one after this play.
They have one. They've taken one, I believe.
And there's a timeout on the field. Penalty call. Too much time against the Astros.
Well, I don't
There's Ross. Look at Ross. Ross is hurting. I'll tell you. Ross knows he was in a football game tonight.
Yeah.
And Kevin Singletary knows he was in a football game tonight.
Barham wants to know if you want to run the same play over again.
This has been a great performance by two excellent teams on this night.
The old cliche, it hate to see somebody lose this game.
You sure do.
Like these kids just played their hearts out on both sides.
Do. And you can bet that Donnie Webster is happy that he may walk out of here 3-0, and Mike Navarro can hold his head high.
Barham, the quarterback, he's got the only touchdown for the Astros tonight, and he keeps it. Down to 50 seconds to go.
I expect Sandburg to take a timeout now.
Yeah, the clock is stopped.
The extra point, the big difference at this time.
Here comes Coach Larry Lokank out. We should mention the Eagle coaching staff. We've got Mike Navarro as the head coach, Marty Bali, Ray Beavers, and Larry Lokank.
And I have to say, I had the honor to work with all these coaches, and I'll tell you, they're outstanding coaches. They really are. Any one of them could be a head football coach. One was at one time.
Yeah, Ray Beavers.
Right.
He's a classic. Ray Beavers is a classic.
Well, you know, you can take the boy out of Texas, but you can't take Texas out of the boy. And I tell you, that's Ray Beavers.
Oh, it really is. He was one of my teachers at Stagg, and boy, we talk about Longhorn football a lot more than we talk about business in the fall over at Stagg. You know, it's interesting, Tom. Sitka North really has had a bunch of coaches who have been there a long time. It's unusual that there's a move here this year, but I mean, Gary Kerhonen has been at Richards forever, and with his crew. And of course, Webster has been at Shepard since the school opened. It wasn't always a head coach, but has always been there. And you've got a great bit of longevity on this staff. I mean, you add up all the years, and it's probably up in the 60s.
Well, yeah, you're right, Tim. And another thing, too. You mentioned schools that have winning programs, all right? The key to winning programs, you have a great staff. I think a lot of Gary Kerhonen, I think a lot of Danny Webster, but I'll tell you right now, they have great coaching staffs. And you're a darn fool if you think you can do it all by yourself. And Shepard, Richards, and Sandburg have winning programs, and that's the reason. The other key to it is all the coaches are in the school. They're in direct contact with the boys all day long.
Yeah, there's a trend now in some high schools where the coaches are outside the school. They come in not necessarily teaching in the school, and that's a tough situation.
It's a very tough situation because, you know, it's like during the day, a freshman boy, he doesn't want to see Coach Navarro. He wants to see his freshman coach. And if you tell him he's not here, he's doing something else, but he'll be here at 3:15. You know, the kid's lost all day.
Right. Well, the clock is ticking down to 10 seconds. This game is just about over. Too much time to lay a game with 8 seconds to go. The Astros have just about sealed up a 7-6 victory. You hate to see a team lose a football game like this because both teams played their hearts out all game.
Well, you know, and the unfortunate thing is they'll talk about the fumble on the goal line and things like that, but there were so many factors in this football game from the opening kickoff until the end that determined this score that you can't put your finger on any one.
Barham over center. He'll just drop to his knee, and that's the end of the football game. As the clock ticks down to 0.
Okay, that's the final score. Shepard 7, Sandburg 6, and now a message from the Chicago Heights Park District.
Team season. I mean, if Stagg comes out a winner, and you know, you don't know what's going to happen. They'll build momentum for next year, and Sandburg wins. They're going into state playoffs on a good note.
Well, Bill Riley set to kick off here for the Chargers. Rob Skubik deep for the Eagles, along with Dan Sullivan. Is that right, Doug?
Yep, that is correct. Dan Sullivan and Rob Skubik.
Kick is high, picked up by Kevin Singletary.
Ball is fielded by Kevin Singletary for the Eagles.
Brought down at about the 20-yard line. Eagles will start at the 20.
We can set the game conditions. It's about 25 or 30 degrees at game time. It's a very cold night here. Very unusual. The rest of the season has been pretty nice weather. But this is a cold night.
It's been beautiful weather, but right now, the players on the field, they don't know if it's 25 degrees above or 25 degrees below. They really don't.
Albert splits out to the right. Brian Bulio, the quarterback for the Eagles. What are the odds the ball goes to Singletary to start the game? Goes to the fullback up the middle.
Rob Skubik
carries the ball for about a 2-yard gain.
That was your typical Chicago Bears start.
It was, and I'll tell you, I think Mike Navarro thought that everybody's going to key Kevin Singletary. That was a short fullback trap to Rob Skubik.
Well, we have a chance. Let's set the offensive line for the Eagles. Well, let's let this play run first, and then we'll set the offensive line.
Second and about 8 for the Eagles. Skubik again on a trap. He's got some room. He may go all the way. He's running away from the Chargers. It's a touchdown for Rob Skubik. A 78-yard touchdown run on an inside trap, Coach.
Same play as the first play. They come right back to it, but on the opposite side. And the pulling guard, beautiful kick-out block. And Rob Skubik was on his way. Once Rob Skubik broke the line of scrimmage, you weren't going to catch Rob Skubik. There he goes. He's got a lead blocker in front of him. He's gone. They're not going to catch him. Rob Skubik is a track man.
He was never touched, Tom.
Never touched.
They never touched him.
Never touched.
Oh, wow.
So as quick as that, it's 6-0. What's the time on the clock, Doug?
It's 10:53, Tom. 10:53 gone in the first quarter.
Two-point conversion.
Remaining, I should say.
A minute and 7 seconds into the game. 2-point conversion attempt. Bulio hands off to Kevin Singletary.
Tosses to Skubik.
Belly play toss. And Skubik catches the ball for the 2-point conversion there.
Just a simple belly pass, and Rob Skubik slid out into the flat, wide open.
With 10:53 remaining.
Very good belly fake by Brian Bulio. So that makes the score 8-0 right off the bat.
It's a real tough start for Scott Helton. Scott Helton came into this game 2-6. As we said, looking for some respectability, and this is not the way to get started off on the first play.
No, it's not. What's going to happen right now is we're going to see what kind of charge Stagg is going to mount, because if we're going to see if they're going to take it right back to Sandburg or what's going to happen.
So with 10:53 to go in the first quarter, with only a minute 7 seconds gone, it's already 8-0 in favor of the Carl Sandburg visiting Eagles. The Chargers are out in the field and anticipating the kickoff. And the Eagles are coming out right now with their kickoff team, so we can pick up who's deep.
Fahey's going to kick off for the Eagles.
The Chargers top back Doug Barnes is back. He's in the middle on offensive receiving, hoping they get the kickoff.
Kevin Fahey kicking off for the Eagles.
Flanked by number 6, Jeremy Alloway down there.
And Glenn Levetz.
And the kick goes to Alloway at about the 10-yard line.
For the Chargers.
Alloway breaks through a couple tackles, but it's brought down at the 30.
Brian Bianco in on the tackle along with Brandon O'Daniel for the Eagles.
You can hear the announcer here. Bianco and O'Daniel in on the tackle for the Eagles.
Ball will be spotted at the 32-yard line.
The Chargers are in business at their own 31. Flanker right, eye backfield.
Doug Barnes carrying the ball for the
Hand
Chargers.
off to Barnes. The quarterback is
Scott McDonald.
Scott McDonald.
I think you're going to see a lot of Barnes tonight. Barnes is their featured back. He's an outstanding ball player. Also, what you're going to look at, you're going to look at two teams again mirroring each other. You're going to see Sandburg in a 5-2 defense. You're going to see Stagg in a 5-2 defense. And you're going to see both teams running flanker eyes or slot eye formations most of the night.
Gain of 3 for the Chargers. 2nd and 7. McDonald, the quarterback. Flanker to the left side this time. Eye backfield. Sprint throw to Doug Barnes. Barnes has some room to run outside. Brought down by Kevin Singletary at about the 39-yard line.
Hey, that was a very good job by the McCarthy boy, the defensive tackle for Sandburg. He made Barnes reroute. They had a lane for Barnes to run up. McCarthy didn't make the tackle, but he made the boy reroute and give Sandburg a chance to recover defensively.
2 yards to go.
Well, Barnes comes into the game with 68 attempts with 338 yards for a 5.0 average and 8 TDs. McDonald comes in with 66 attempts and 26 complete, about 331 yards and 2 TDs.
3rd and short. The Eagles in their 5-2 defense. And off the Barnes, he has the first down and a couple yards beyond that, up to the 43-yard line.
First down, their first of the game.
The 3 plays that they've run right now, Stagg offense, they have gone straight. They've gone straight at Sandburg's defense. They've run 3 plays and basically have gone straight at Sandburg's defense. Also, they're flip-flopping their formation. They're setting their formation one time to the wide side and one time to the short side to see Sandburg's reaction.
Well, Daniel on a tackle trips to the right side this time, Coach.
This is Scott
Quick
McDonald.
pass outside,
His pass is
incomplete.
intended for Myron Phelps.
Let's see his name.
Second down for the Chargers and 10 yards to go.
Okay, let's set that defensive line for the Eagles. Mike Magia is a nose man. Sean Slaney and Matt McCarthy are the defensive tackles. Eric Walsh and Pat O'Sullivan are the defensive ends. The linebackers are Jeff Janicek and Brandon O'Daniel. Defensive backs Danny Sullivan, Leo Kozlinski, Kevin Singletary, and of course Rob Skubek, who just scored that first Eagle touchdown. We'll set the offensive setup for the Stagg Chargers in just a second.
And they're back to the eye with a flanker right. Hand off to Barnes. Breaks off right tackle, gain of about 6-7 yards on a play, past midfield to about the Eagle 49-yard line. Brandon O'Daniel on a tackle again.
Here we go again. It's Stagg right at Sandburg. They're not getting fancy. They threw one pass play out of a trips formation, but they're going right at Sandburg. They're going to say, Sandburg, you're going to have to hold your ground.
Okay, McDonald at the line. Looks left. Looks straight ahead. The give is to
Steve Coglany is carrying the ball for the Chargers. Coglany picks up 9 yards. That's enough for the
Steve
Chargers.
Coglany.
First down, number 2.
That time it was a quick, just a quick give to the fullback. And again, right up the middle. They're attacking the middle of Sandburg's defense. They're going to make the nose man commit himself.
Well, the Sandburg's made a change from the last time I seen them play. They had Sean Slaney at nose guard, and now they've got Magia on there.
Right. They moved Magia into nose man. They moved Slaney to a tackle outside along with Fran Areola. And also they're relieving both of them, especially Slaney at times, with McCarthy. So it's going to give him a little bit of a rest. And Magia started to come around for Sandburg. He's being tested tonight.
Okay, let's set the offensive line for the Chargers. Mike Hargarten is at the right tackle. Right guard is John O'Leary. Center is Matt Burke. The left guard is Courtney Zabovniak, if I can say that. Left tackle is Brad Pointek. Left in is Bill Riley. Right in is Joe Brannigan. Quarterback, of course, is Scott McDonald. The fullback was Tony Zitzka. He started that. Flanker was Jeremy Alloway. And the tailback, their chief runner, is Doug Barnes. There's some big boys on the Chargers. Zawodniak is 225, 6'1", and Brad Poinek is 6'3", 220. And Matt Burke is 6'1", 205. I know Scott Helton was one of the guys that helped University of Michigan weight train. So he's got a lot of these guys on weight training programs.
Oh, he has them on a tremendous weight training program. He's a weight training fanatic, and Scott Helton is not only a weight training expert. Scott Helton's a very good football coach. He's going to put this thing together here in the next year or two. Power I formation.
This is Doug Barnes.
Doug Barnes turns the corner.
Doug Barnes to the 18-yard line.
Skubek just had a chance to knock him out and just did, Tom. He was ready to go on that one.
Yes, he was. He was a step away on that play.
Number 3.
Well, I think this is what Scott Helton wanted to do, was to establish a running game early.
Well, he's doing that.
2 yards on the carry by Doug Barnes.
See, right here, they're in a power I formation, and the intention of the play was they were going to go right off tackle with the play, but Barnes, being a great back, bounced it outside and picked up some big yards. Here they go again, power I.
Barnes with the ball. Pick up of about a yard on that play.
Well, if you saw that last play, I think one of our cameramen got a shot on the sidelines because suddenly the camera went down at the ground. So he was blocked on the play as well. So Jones Cable cameramen are right in the midst of the action. We've got Jay Holly, Jack Rieno, Bill Dolbus, and of course we got the legendary George Carpentier and Gerard Grabowski in the truck. I'm Doug Gerke along with Tom Sleeg and Tom Barrett. I hope you're enjoying this game so far with 7:26 to go in the first quarter. It's 8-0, but the Chargers are driving.
It's 2nd and 9 right now, and they're in a slot I formation. There it is. Give the Barnes again.
Barnes to about the 15-yard line and pick up of 2.
Well, that's the best the Eagles have done on stopping Barnes on that play, Tom.
Yes, they have. And I'll tell you, it's a game of inches. If
Brandon
Barnes
on
steps
the
to his
tackle for the
left,
Eagles.
he's wide open, and he's going to the goal line.
for the
He
Chargers
makes the
and
break
about
to the
7
right,
yards to
and
go.
he's stopped for about a 2-yard gain.
You know, this shows the character of Scott Helton. They score 8-0 now. He's got the kids coming right back at him.
Yes, he does. This was an important drive for Scotty, whether he scores or not. They got trips right, single back set.
This is
McDonald fades. He looks.
McDonald's pass intended for Jeremy Alloway, incomplete.
And Skubik gave the offensive receiver a real shot trying to cut across the middle. No call on the play. Skubik just stood there, and here's a replay right here.
Single back set, trips to the right. The ball is thrown to one of the wide receivers crossing over the middle. It's an uncatchable ball, but the ball was over the receiver's head after contact was made. So no call.
So it's 4th and 7.
Bill O'Reilly attempting the field goal for the Chargers.
And Stagg is a little confused right now.
The 22-yard line.
Flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
The kick is wide to left.
No good.
There is a penalty flag on the field.
I think it's against Stagg there.
It is.
Against the Chargers.
Like you said, Tom, they were confused. It looked like a little disorientated on the line.
Will the Eagles just take the ball at that spot, or will they?
Oh, I think the Eagles will take the ball. No, they won't give Stagg another chance.
The penalty will be declined by the Eagles. Sandburg
There it
takes
is. Little
the
mass
run down.
confusion on Stagg's part. People are moving around, and when the ball snaps, somebody is in motion. It's legal procedure.
You can see the flag flying into distance.
So Brian Bulio brings the Eagles back out on the field.
It was a nice drive by Stagg, though.
It was a very nice drive by Stagg. They needed that. Build up a little confidence.
Fahey and Albert flanked off to the right now. Bulio.
This is Singletary with the ball for the
Singletary looked like a little counter play to.
They call it a tackle trap. It's again what the Washington Redskins call it. It's their, it's their tray formation, and they pull the backside guard and tackle. They fill with the fullback, and they lead Kevin Singletary. It's been a very successful play for him all year. Scotty knows it, and Scotty stopped it.
We get a chance here. We'll set the offensive personnel for Sandburg.
Gain of 2 for Singletary, 2nd and 8 on the play.
This is Singletary with the ball.
Singletary again, stopped at the line.
So let me just set it real fast. Right tackle for the Eagles, Fran Areola. Right guard is Matt McCarthy. Center is Rick Dickinson. Left guard is Eric Welsh. Left tackle is Sean Slaney. Left in, Fred Albert. Right in is Bill Sajewski. And the flanker is either going to be Kevin Fahey or Dan Sullivan. Quarterback Brian Bulio. Fullback Rob Skubik. And the tailback, of course, is Kevin Singletary.
John O'Leary in on that last stop, and there's a timeout on the field. Timeout Eagles.
Well, it's 3rd and 12. The Eagles have had 2 running plays that are pretty well snuffed at the line.
I'm looking for a pass or a draw play right here.
Eagles have the wind with them right now. The wind is straight out of the north almost, right?
Yeah, it's north-northwest. And I'll tell you, with Brian Bugalo, they're not afraid to put the ball up in the air. This young man has really turned things around for Carl Sandburg's offense. He's my favorite player right now. I'll tell you, he's fire all the way. He's ready to go every minute.
And you can point to the Richards game, I think, as a turning point in the Eagles season.
Oh, that was a big turning point. It might have been their finest ball game of the year, and that turned things around for them. I think at that time they didn't know which way they were going, and it's not a blow to Sandburg, but they brought Bugalo in, and he turned them in the right direction.
And there was a point in that ball game where it looked like the Bulldogs had taken over control of the game.
3rd down for the Eagles.
They did at one time, and what happened was Brian and company turned around and brought them right back. So it was a very good night for Sandburg.
2 tight ends, eye backfield.
This is Singletary.
There's Singletary. He's got room to run. One more move. He's finally brought down from behind.
43-yard line.
Number 24 on the tackle. That would be Chris May.
Chris May.
Did a nice job of following Kevin Singletary
It's only a
downfield.
matter of time. Here we go. It's a short trap again, and a kick-out block by Skubik, and there goes Singletary. In 2 plays, they can't get 3 yards. In 1 play, they get about 23.
It's funny, like you said, the Chargers will hold them for a couple plays, and suddenly, boom, some will break open, and the Eagles take off.
Eagles at their own 43, a gain of about 25 on that play. Singletary off the right side.
The ball for the Eagles. Pickup of about 3 on that play.
Just past the 45, up to about the 46-yard line.
That was just a straight. That was just a straight isolation play. It was Skubik leading Singletary right at the linebacker in the 5-2 defense.
Sean Slady looked like he might have been injured on the play. He looked like he got something in the stomach or in the ribs, and he's running off the field right now. Sean's one of their both-way double players for the Eagles.
7 yards to go.
Again, 2 tight ends, flanker left, I formation.
This is Singletary with the ball for Sandburg.
Singletary gain of about 1, maybe 2 yards on the play, up to about the 48-yard line.
Making a tackle for Stagg.
Here's a
Chris
question.
May again on a tackle.
The Eagles have not passed the ball yet. Here's a replay.
Okay, here we go again. This is nothing more than a off-tackle base play with Skubik kicking out and Singletary carrying the ball. And I'll tell you, good defense by Stagg High School. They collapsed on that side. The linebackers filled. And
Time
they
for the
stopped
play-action pass here, because they really fell for that.
I was just going to say, the Eagles have not passed the ball yet. I would expect Brian to
They really
fast.
bid on that play-action that time. Let's see what happens here.
You're right. Here it comes.
This is where they are with the pass.
And he's got Fahey at about the 41-yard line, forward progress. Let's see where they mark the ball. Down to about the Charger 41, 42-yard line.
Tom, I remember 2 years ago you came over here and you played Stagg, and Bay Anderson only threw 1 pass in the whole first half and maybe 2 passes the whole game. They just kept running behind Lubbridge and Infelice all the time.
Well, 2 years ago when we were over here, they didn't have to throw the ball. They were throwing us around.
Their offensive linemen were huge.
Saw that nice replay of the Kevin Fahey reception.
Brian Bugalo comes out of there, and his eyes are open. He's got a good view of the field, and that might have been his 3rd receiver on that play, but he found him.
So again, the ball to Singletary.
That's that tackle trap again, where the guard and the tackle pull and lead that play through.
Lesney on the tackle for the Chargers.
Just past the 40-yard line, 2nd and 7 for the Eagles.
2nd down, 7 yards to go.
Let me set the defensive personnel for the Chargers. Dale Lesney is the middle linebacker. The anchor linebacker is either going to be Tony Zitzka or Jason Ware. Those guys will be Steve DeBose, Dale Bosk. Middle halfback is going to be Glenn Labetz. I'll finish that up after this play is over.
Flanker right, split end left. I formation. Play action. Quick pass to Skubik out in the flat. He's got some room. He's past the 30-yard line inside the 25, out of bounds, maybe at about the 23, 22-yard line. Nice play.
Beautiful play. That was a bootleg pass. Now watch Brian Bugalo, how cool he is. He's getting pressure from the defensive end, and he just stays in there, and he just kind of feathers that ball into Skubik, who's wide open in the flat. That's that bootleg pass to the fullback.
1st and 10 for the Eagles at the Charger 23-yard line.
About 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Draw, Singletary. Pass the 20 to about the 18. About a 5-yard gain for Singletary. Make it 2nd and 5.
Sprint draw right here. That was covered, really covered very, very well by Stagg. The linemen set up to show pass. Everybody sets up to show pass, and then they attack downfield and give the ball to their number 1 ball carrier, Kevin Singletary. Good coverage by Stagg High School.
Courtney Zavanovich on the tackle.
I'm glad you can say that name, Tom, because I certainly can't.
Flanker right, split ends, both sides.
Kevin Singletary carrying the ball for Sandburg.
Inside handoff to Singletary. Stopped after a gain of about 1, maybe 2 yards.
Zitzka in on the tackle for Stagg.
Let me finish off the rest of the defensive personnel for the Chargers. You got Chris May at safety.
5 for the Eagles.
Joe Brannigan at 1 defensive end. Bill Riley at the other defensive end. John O'Leary at the nose tackle. 1 defensive tackle is Todd Kulis, and the other 1 defensive tackle is Courtney Jovanovich. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Tony Zitzka on that last tackle. Last time 3rd and 5, they went play action. Let's see what happens here.
Zitzka sounds like Ditka, Tom.
Straight drop back.
This is Julio back to pass. His pass is incomplete.
I should say, intended for Danny Sullivan down there at the goal line. Incomplete, so it's 4th down and 5 yards to go for the Eagles.
The clock stops with 31.2 seconds left in the first quarter.
All that was that time was a fake sprint draw to try to suck the secondary and the linebackers into thinking it was a running play, and they wanted to hit Sullivan coming across the middle. Good coverage by Stagg High School. This is a big defensive series for Stagg right now. If Sandburg scores right now, it puts Stagg in a no-win situation.
The ball is at the Charger 17-yard line. Brian Bulio is the Sandburg quarterback. Flanker right, split end left. Bulio straight back to pass. Screen to the left side to Skubik. He's past the first down marker. He's got the first down at about the 10-yard line. Riley on a tackle for the Chargers.
That was a well-executed play. They send a receiver out here on the right-hand side to draw Stagg's defense out. And I'll tell you, Brian Bugalo dropped back. He didn't show screen. The tackle and the guard and the center slid out and picked up Skubik. Excellent play. Good coverage by Stagg, but a first down.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line, so the Eagles could get a first down without scoring a touchdown. Now they go to the pro set in the backfield, first time, or offset eye, or whatever you would call that. That's Skubik off the right side. He's got the touchdown. That was first time with that formation, Coach.
First time with that formation. They've showed it in other games, but first time tonight. And what that does really is it makes Skubik the tailback, so to speak, to the strong side. And they send Kevin Singletary up on a fake, give the ball to Skubik, and he slides off, tackle, end result, touchdown.
So the Eagles score with no time left on the clock in the first quarter. I'm looking down through my binoculars here. Courtney Zavanovich is holding his right hand. I don't know how long he'll be getting in there. He's holding his right wrist. He's in a lot of pain. I don't know if he's going to be in there that much longer. He's one of their key defensive players. But he's playing one-handed right now. Eagles are going for the 2 points.
Bulio still has the ball.
Pass is complete.
Pass was complete for the 2-point conversion.
See where they got it to. Is that Skubik?
I think it is Skubik.
Yeah, that's Rob Skubik, 36. Okay, and that completes the first quarter of play here. At the end of the first quarter, it's the Carl Sandburg Eagles 16 and the Stagg Chargers 0. We'll be back with second quarter action in just a few minutes.
As independent insurance agents, Horton Insurance Agency can offer the policies of many leading insurance companies. But to meet the personal insurance needs of their business and professional clients, Horton selects the Universal Security Policy from CNA. The USP policy offers expanded coverages prepared by people who understand hired valued homes and other benefits of financial success at exceptional rates that reflect the superior risks you represent. Horton Insurance Agency and CNA, ensuring your success.
One name means more satisfied customers.
Terry's. More car for less money. More service with less hassle. More commitment to your complete satisfaction. When we hand over the keys to a Terry's new or used car, we put our reputation on the road. Terry's Lincoln Mercury, Orland Park. Terry's Buick of Blue Island. Terry's Ford Lincoln Mercury of Peatone. Terry's Buick Nissan in Bradley. We want to be your car dealer.
One name means more satisfaction. Terry's.
We're back to action here, and the
Janicek for the
Eagles have kicked off to the Chargers. Coglanese returned the ball to about the 38-yard line. So the Chargers down 16 points here, start the second quarter.
It's Rob Skubik 16, the Stagg Chargers 0 right now.
I believe Rob scored all 16 points, yes.
Doug
Barnes, the ball carrier, off right tackle, no gain. A lot of Eagles over there, led by Brandon O'Daniel and Jeff Janicek. A couple of linebackers there, Coach.
A couple of good linebackers, one senior and one junior. We'll have one back next year, and it's the give to Barnes. Barnes, the featured back. He tries to bend it back, but Sandburg defense will have none of it.
You wonder how many times the Chargers can suck it up and make a good move here, because this is tough after you.
in the next drive or two is becoming very important for Stagg High School.
Scott McDonald, the quarterback for the Chargers. Little play action, roll out, throws back the other way, intercepted and dropped by Jeff Janicek at the 42-yard line. It would have been a one-handed interception.
Janicek with the defense for the Eagles.
I'm trying to figure this play out because they pull a guard and the quarterback goes the opposite way unless it's some type of a sucker pass or somebody made a mistake on the play. It was a blown play because a lot of mass confusion out there on that play.
Would have been a heck of an interception by Janicek had he gotten it.
McDonald also threw that ball off his back foot while he was fading away. You're not going to get a lot on the ball when you throw it like that.
The only thing you're going to get on it is your opponent.
That's right.
Jim McMahon threw one like that Monday night, I think.
That's right.
Donnell Wolford or somebody picked it up. McDonald, straight drop back. A little bit of room to run, but he gets back to the 38, 39-yard line.
Excellent defensive coverage. All receivers, you will see right here, he drops back. He wants to release and throw. It's an out and up pattern out here on the right side, but the receivers are covered by the Sandburg secondary.
You need a little time for that out and up.
You sure do. And he didn't get as much as he needed.
Well, Barnes was pretty well open on that play on this close side of the field, but he was under pressure and he threw it to the other receiver.
McDonald back to punt for the Chargers.
Scott McDonald in punt formation.
It's a low kick.
Kevin Fahey back.
Kevin Fahey.
Fahey at the 31-yard line. Nice tackle at the 30. Who was on that tackle? 33?
Steve Coglanese. With the
Coglanese?
33, Steve Coglanese. The punt gets off. Kevin Fahey, a gutsy little player, he takes it on the first bounce, and he is very close to breaking this. If it's not for Coglanese, Fahey's going to pick a wall up on the far side of the field, and he's on his way. Nice stop by Coglanese.
Albert splits out here to the left side. Fahey in the slot. I formation in the backfield. Brian Bulio. Straight drop back. Looked like it was going to be a quick pass, and it wasn't there, and he's going to be tackled inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line.
Nice defensive play by Joe Brannigan.
Joe
Brannigan on a tackle.
Looked like he was looking for Albert on a little slant in there, and it didn't develop.
I don't know what's happening out here. This is a slot formation, and you're right. He's looking for Freddie Albert, and Freddie Albert's not running his pattern, I don't believe. We can't see it, but Brian tries to buy all the time he can, and a lot of pressure by Stagg's defense.
Well, they mark it at the 20, so it's 2nd and 19, almost 20 yards to go. Make it 20 for the Eagles. Flanker right, I formation.
Inside.
And there goes Skubik on that quick trap. Past the 40 for a first down to the 44-yard line.
4 yards on that carry. Glenn Lebed's making the tackle for the Chargers.
Glenn Lebed's on the tackle for Stagg.
That's just that short fullback trap by Rob Skubik, and I think Rob Skubik has run this play tonight 3 or 4 times, and he has probably 20, 25 yards per carry on this thing.
Well, he got 72 yards on one earlier.
Right, he sure did. So Freddie Albert flanked way out in front of us here.
Ball at the 44-yard line. Julio still has the ball. Throws a Fahey, dropped at the 50. The tough pass was a little behind him.
Receiver Steve Delbasque with the defense for the Chargers.
Steve Delbasque, number 42 on the play for the Chargers.
This is just a belly fake, and what he does is he hits Kevin Fahey on a curl right inside, about an 8 or 9 yard curl, and Kevin had the ball in his hands and let it go. Unusual for Kevin Fahey. He doesn't do that many times.
So ball's on the 44-yard line, 2nd and 10 for the Eagles, 60-0. The Eagles are leading the Chargers with 8:04 to left in the second quarter.
Slot right, I formation. Bulio straight back.
Bulio back to pass for the Eagles.
Fake.
His pass is
picked off, and there's a penalty flag on the play, but it was picked off
Bob Curley knocked out of bounds by Rob Skubik.
Bob Curley picked it off at about the Charger 42-yard line, brought it back into Eagle territory to the 36. Let's see what the penalty flag is.
A penalty for interference against the
Eagles declined
by the Chargers.
So offensive interference must have been a pick on the play.
It was. This is, he was pushed by the receiver, the defensive back was. He made the pick, and he headed up. I'll tell you, this was a big series for Stagg. Stagg does not want to go in at halftime being down by 20-some points. If they can turn this into a score, they can make a ball game out of this. This is going to be interesting. This is a big series for Sandburg now.
Well, at this time, the Chargers are 3 scores down at 16-0, unless they score twice and go for the 2 extra points both times to tie the game. Split end to the left, flanker to the right, I formation.
Doug Barnes,
the carrier.
No gain on the play.
Anybody else but Barnes carry the ball yet, Doug?
No, he hasn't. You know what?
Once the fullback did out of a single back set.
Right.
That's about the only time.
I noticed that the offensive blocking on the running plays on the first series was excellent, but on these last series are never good.
Right here, no, he's not getting outstanding blocking, but you know how easy it is to coach from up here? If Barnes steps to his left, he's gone.
Yeah.
But you know, he's running the ball. I'm calling it. I got an easier job than he does.
Number 72 on that tackle was Fran Areola for the Eagles. Ball at the 38-yard line, 2nd and 10. Straight drop back. Overthrown out to the right flat here. Intended for number 84, Bill Riley.
For the Eagles. 3rd and 10 for the Chargers.
It's that fake sprint draw right there, and what he wants to do is hit his tight end, who slides quickly out into the flat. This fake draw is supposed to hold a defense, look like a run, but Sandburg had none of it. Ball was overthrown, uncatchable.
Singletary on the coverage out there.
It's 3rd and 10 for the Chargers on the 43-yard line.
Single back again. Flankers to both sides, straight drop back, deep pass. Intended for Riley again, almost intercepted by Jeff Janicek.
Jeff Janicek with the defense for the Eagles.
Jeff Janicek has come out and played excellent linebacker for the Eagles this year, Tom.
Oh, Jeff I'll tell you, Janicek has become a defensive force. He fits right in with Brandon O'Daniel. They're 2 good linebackers. In fact, it's a toss-up right now. They're playing well. That was an excellent offensive play. It was just a little bit underthrown. The receiver was wide open.
After this punt, they're going to fade to black, and then they're going to put a new tape in after this punt.
4th and 10 for the Chargers. Again, McDonald drops back, throws downfield. Knocked down by Kozielinski, which was a good play. He's mad because he didn't intercept, but intercepting would have been the wrong thing to do at that point on a 4th down play.
Okay, Lee hit himself in the head a little bit. We'll be back in a minute or so. They're changing the tape.
Where are you going for dinner tonight?
Where else? Ciao.
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 Where else? But ciao.
Where else? Ciao. Where else? Ciao.
Ciao.
Have dinner tonight at Chow. Where else? Call 481-6510.
Are you interested in sports? Well, then check out Sports Talk right here on TV4. Join Jim Banowitz, Marty Burns, Steve Cetera, and Mark Lassig for what's happening today in sports. They discuss national as well as local issues, from the Bulls and the Bears right down to the Rockets and the Stars. That's Sports Talk, Tuesday and Thursday nights at 7:30 and 11:30, right here on TV4.
There's no better place to buy your next new car, truck, or van than Gibson Chevrolet. But hey, don't take my word for it. Come in and see for yourself. We have work trucks, sport trucks, and vans, red cars, blue cars, every kind of used car. Boy, I sound like Dr. Zeus. Come on in. You may even have some fun. But most important, when you get that Gibson deal, you'll say, hey, I got the shirt off their back.
The action hit, Boiling Point. They're killing cops. They're hitting the mob. They're not afraid of anyone. but they should be. Wesley Snipes, star of the blockbuster hits Demolition Man, Passenger 57, and White Men Can't Jump, and Dennis Hopper, Boiling Point.
We're back to action here. Skubik with the ball for a first down, a 12-yard gain from the Eagle 38 up to midfield.
Number 6 for the Eagles, Darrell Rosny with the tackle.
The Eagles leading 16-0 here in the second quarter. Two teams headed in opposite directions here. At the beginning of the season, the Chargers won their first 2, and they've lost their last 6.
That's a Brent Musburger quote, isn't it, Tom? Two teams headed in the opposite direction?
You're looking live.
We're looking live.
Charger Field here.
I was wondering, live on tape, what does that mean? Live on tape.
It's a live tape.
So, I don't know what that means. Live on tape.
Bulio hands off. They have Kevin Singletary pretty well keyed, don't they, Coach?
Kevin Singletary.
Skubik is the big ball carrier tonight.
It's Skubik's night tonight. I think Mike Navarro decided to give Rob Skubik a little exercise tonight, and he's giving Rob Skubik a little exercise. That last play was just a short trap, off-tackle trap to the tailback.
Second down.
Outside of a couple plays, Singletary's been well covered.
It reminds me from last year when they would key on Robleski, you kept giving it to Jason Barone. And people were not looking for Jason Barone. They were looking for Robleski, and Jason racked up a couple of good nights for you last year.
He sure did.
Albert and Fahey flank to the left, Sullivan right. Now, both those guys are in the backfield. At Lincoln Way, they would have called that one, but inside trap to Skubik for a gain of 4.
4 yards.
That Lincoln Way game, they were calling everything. That was when Sandburg had beaten Wabansie Valley the first game of the season.
It's that short fullback trap again, and Mike Navarro is working it to death. And Ray Beaver's up there on the phone, so Ray is probably giving Mike a little bit of his Texas philosophy and telling him to run that fullback a little bit more, and Mike is listening tonight.
Does it get this cold in Texas? That's what you have to ask Coach Beavers. I don't think it gets this cold.
There was a sprint draw to Singletary. Past the 45.
About 3 on that carry.
To about the 43-yard line, which will set up a 4th and 3 for the Eagles.
Bill Riley and Bob Curley in on the tackle.
That's a sprint draw play is what it is. Skubik leads Singletary right up the middle, and probably Singletary has not carried the ball so much. He's probably cold just sitting back there because it's Skubik's night.
Lesney, Coolidge, Riley on the tackle for the Chargers. 4th down and a long 2, maybe 3 for the Eagles.
Well, if you're Scott Helton, you scout the Eagles and you say they're going to run Singletary and pass the ball. What's your third weapon is Skubik, and that's what Coach Mike Navarro has gone to.
Time for a play-action long pass here. Let's see what happens.
There it is.
Bulio with a little screen pass off play action. Skubik again, out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
Scooby-Doo.
Knocked out by Steve Delbasque. I sensed a long pass that time, but it was a little flat pass.
All he's doing right now is he's cleaning out the area with Fahey and Freddie Albert or whoever the tight end is out there, and Stagg's secondary is flowing deep. They have no choice, and Skubik is bumping off the off tackle and slipping out into the flat. He's wide open.
Coming right up underneath all that coverage. Ball at the 30, 1st and 10 for the Eagles, up 16-0 here, looking to add to that lead. Bulio, the quarterback, Skubik at fullback. And the ball goes to Kevin Singletary out of the tailback position. Gain of about 12 past the 20 to the 18.
Pickup of 12 on that carry. First down, number 8 for the Eagles. Tony Zitzka making the tackle for the Chargers.
Zitzka,
like Ditka.
Couple of big games tonight. Shepard and Richards are playing. In fact, based on the outcome of that game, the Eagles could be in a 3-way tie for first, and would they get the conference championship?
Depends on the points scored, right?
Depends on how many points are scored and who wins. There's that tackle trap.
Singletary carrying the ball.
Trap.
Oh,
fumble by Singletary down at about the 10. Looks like the Chargers are on that ball. That ball popped up about 15 yards
sure
into
did.
the
That ball really shot up in the air.
15 feet in the air. I'm sorry about that.
15 yards, 15.
Little overstatement.
Yeah, I told you a million times not to exaggerate. Yeah.
Used to call on yard lines.
That's right.
That's that tackle trap. That tackle trap play where Skubik blocks the backside and the backside tackle and guard pull, And nice run, except Kevin forgot something about 5 yards from the end zone.
6-yard line.
Lebed's on the recovery. Looked like the ball was punched out, though. You see that more and more now. Defensive players are taught to go after that football.
Well, I
start out in poor position.
I just spotted Cal Singletary over there. He has that whole thing on tape. I have it on tape for Kevin. I got my
about a yard on that play.
Got my
binoculars. Ball carrier past the 5.
Well, you know, if your tape don't work, you can always go to Mr. Singletary because he might have 3 cameras on a game now. I don't know.
You know, I talked to his wife, Dee. You know what she said? She said he always brings 2 cameras in case one of them gives out. Now, we've run out of tape sometimes, but he never runs out of tape. He's always got it.
Make it a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for the Chargers.
And it was a 2-yard gain for Barnes.
Now, if you're the Eagles coach, Tom, you look at this almost as a punch, right? You're giving them the ball deep in their own end zone. Now it's up to the defense to hold them.
Right. Naturally, he'd like to score, but right now Stagg has to come out, and they have to go 95 yards, and that's a tough chore for any football team.
And there's that inside tackle trap from the Chargers standpoint. Gain of about a yard.
Brandon O'Daniel making the tackle for the Eagles.
Yeah, here it is. It's that tackle trap where Scotty's going to pull his backside guard, and they're closing down on the play, away from the play side, and they're running the back up off that trap.
And Brandon O'Daniel was right there to meet that play. 3rd and 7.
Brandon O'Daniel is reading his keys well tonight. Both linebackers are reading their keys extremely well tonight.
This is Doug Barnes carrying the ball.
Barnes, the ball carrier, off the left side this time. Was that?
Loss of a yard on that play.
Well, I'll tell you who was involved in that was
Mike Mejia.
Mike Mejia.
Yeah, but Eric Welch also was involved in that. Eric won't get credit for the tackle, but Eric is the reason that play didn't develop because he just jammed everything inside.
So
McDonald back to punt for the Chargers out of his own end zone.
Coming up under a minute to go in the first half.
Kevin Fahey deep for the Eagles.
Another low kick. Fahey fair catch at the 40.
Kevin Fahey calls for the fair catch at the 40-yard line.
We got 48.3 seconds to go in the first half. It's 60-0. The Eagles lead the Chargers here in Palos Hills, Illinois.
Well, the Eagles had lost to Shepard 7-6 in the 3rd game of the season. Right after that Lincoln Way game we mentioned earlier, the Eagles started off beating Wabansie Valley. They lost to Lincoln Way. They came back and they lost to Shepard. So they were 1-2. They've won their last 5. They stand at 6-2 in this game. And in the Sika North, they are 5-1. Now, flanker to the right. Bulio
back to pass for the Eagles. His
pass is low. Incomplete intended for Fahey.
Kevin Fahey, the intended receiver. Chris May providing the defense for the Chargers.
6-2 and 4-1, I'm sorry, in the Sika North. This could put them to 5-1 and create a logjam, a 5-1 logjam up at the top if Richards were to beat Shepard tonight. Shepard undefeated all year.
On that replay, Brian Bugalo just underthrew the ball. That's unusual for him. He was guiding the ball that time. He didn't throw it. You won't see that very often from Brian.
44.8 seconds to go in the first half. Bulio, straight drop back, throwing long. Almost picked off out there.
Defensive play by Chris May for the Chargers. 3rd down for the Eagles. 10
intended for Bill Suzuki, or Chesky. Bill Chesky.
Right here. Not a bad thrown ball. Good coverage by Stagg. Stagg is setting in his zone defense right now and collapsing on the release of the ball. So it's pretty good coverage.
The seconds left in the first half are 39.9, which unbelievably is the average age of the 3 announcers here tonight is 39.9 years.
Somebody here has to be very old because I'm kind of young. I wouldn't be surprised to see a sprint draw right now, or back to Skubik we go. There's the sprint draw.
The sprint draw.
This is Singletary.
Singletary's got more than 10. He's past the 30 down to about the 27-yard line.
Bugalo
the Eagles have a couple timeouts left, don't they, Coach?
Yes, and they just called one right now. Brian Bugalo was right on that official when, as soon as Singletary went down, Bugalo called for the timeout.
7.2 seconds on that play, so 32.7 to go in the first half.
It was very quick mathematics, Tom.
Yeah.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. What do you expect now, Tom, from the Eagles?
Oh, I expect you're going to see, what does he have, 37 point something left to go here?
32.7.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about our age. But,
about half a minute. Yes.
He has 2 timeouts, so I wouldn't be surprised. You know, you're going to see Skubik maybe on a quick trap. He'll put the ball up as Skubik in the flat. They'll clear the zone out again and throw it to Skubik in the flat. I don't think he's going to play around with the deep pass.
You don't think so? I think he's going to go short.
Because he's been wide open with Skubik in his flat all night. And they haven't showed that they can cover it.
As you said, the last thing Stagg wants to do is go into halftime down 3 touchdowns.
This is important to Stagg.
Very important to Stagg.
Going in at 16 to nothing. But I'm telling you what they're going to do. Now, let's see. Probably he'll turn around and do the opposite.
Julio, play action. Out into the flat, intercepted. Bill Riley on the interception at the 25-yard line, brought down at the 28 or so.
Well, I was right about the flat, but wrong about the play.
25.8 seconds to go in a half. Timeout, Chargers.
That was a big defensive play for Stagg High School. That keeps them in the ball game right now because, number one, they just want to run out the clock, I'm sure. Scotty's probably going out there and tell them, don't do anything stupid. Here's Brian now, and he's trying to throw out into the flat. He just waited a little bit too long. He let the defensive secondary recover and get into their zones.
So if you're Scott Helton, you're not throwing the ball trying to score. You're just going to run the clock out and go into the locker room.
If I'm Scott Helton, I am, because I'm going to be happy to go in at 16 to nothing.
Lucky you didn't score a 3rd time.
We had a nice sideline shot of Scott Helton before.
There's one of the injured players on Stagg. That might be Mike Edmond. Mike Edmond's a 6-foot, 230-pound lineman that is out. He's tore all his ligaments in his knee. That looks like Mike. His father,
Chris
Jim,
May next to him there.
For the game. .8 seconds left in the first half. Game taped on October 29th, 1993.
Scott is out there coming in now telling them, don't lose the football, let's run out the clock. And Larry Lokank just left the field telling them, don't give up the long one.
And try to get the ball back.
This is Doug Barnes with the ball.
Doug Barnes, Jeff Janicek on the tackle, gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play.
Clock stopped at 19 seconds in the first half to go.
Timeout, Chargers. Try a long Hail Mary here. They have the win with them.
2nd down, 5 yards to go.
Well, when Scott is calling a timeout with less than 30 seconds left to go in the ball game, now he's starting to tell us that maybe he wants to put one on before the halftime comes. And he's going to take his chances. Really, he has nothing to lose.
Field position at the 32-yard line. 19 seconds to go in the half.
2nd and 5, but that's rather irrelevant right now with this little time left in the first half.
The playoffs start Wednesday. The Eagles are almost assured of being in the playoffs, especially if they win this game. They'll definitely be in the playoffs.
We all listen to that radio station from Aurora tomorrow night.
95.9.
95.9.
We'll all be there. And also, they tell me that sports channel up in Oak Park River Forest is going to put on a big show.
Good. Yeah, that's good because a lot of people want to know that. That's important information.
Single back set. Flankers both sides, double tight ends. McDonald on the toss behind the intended receiver, number 88 out there, Joe Brannigan.
3rd down for the Chargers, 5 yards to go.
3rd and 5 for Stagg.
Scotty was going to go after it, and he tried a pass play. He tried to hit a receiver crossing over the middle. Now, he better be careful right now because the clock is not running, and he could give up this football with a few seconds left to go, and Sandburg could turn it around and stick one in on him.
Which is the last thing he's trying to do. 14.7 seconds left here.
Brannigan at 6'2", 215, an imposing figure out there in that field. Looks like a blitz coming up here. But O'Daniel was picked up on the blitz. Riley catches it at past the midfield stripe down to the 46-yard line, brought down by Rob Skubik.
And he immediately called for a timeout.
2 on that play for the Chargers.
18 and 22 on the play, 8.4 seconds to go in the half. It's Stagg burns their last timeout.
Timeout called by Stagg.
Here he drops back. He's in that single back set, and he gets that tight end crossing over the middle. The receivers on the outside pull those defensive backs out. A nice gain.
Daniel came up on the blitz on that play. Would that have affected it at all?
Yes, it would have, because it pulls out a linebacker that's dropping in the middle. And Scott found the open, Scott's quarterback found the open zone and hit the receiver. Now there's 8 seconds left to go. That's time for 2 plays, possibly.
The score here is 16-0. Eagles. The Eagles in white on defense. The Chargers in orange and blue. Amos Alonzo Stagg High School at Palos Hills.
Scott Helton with a never say die posture here at the end of the first half. He wants to try to put something on the board.
Scott McDonald, the quarterback, single back set, straight drop back. McDonald intercepted. O'Daniel drop back and pass coverage, intercepted it at the 31-yard line. Finally brought down at the 46, and that's going to end the first half with the Eagles up 16-0 over Stagg.
That concludes the first half action. As Tom just said, Eagles 16, Chargers 0. We'll be back with second half action in a few minutes.
Soaring above the rest, Hawkinson Ford knows you deserve.
Welcome to Hawkinson Ford, where once you're a customer for life. The Hawkinson family has been serving your family for 3 generations now. Come in and see how it feels to buy from family.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I hope so.
Johnny Depp.
Mommy?
Mary Stuart Masterson. Aidan Quinn. Benny and June. A romance on the brink of reality.
Send up the balloons. It's time to celebrate year-end closeout prices at Community Pontiac GMC Truck. Every 93 Pontiac from Sandburg to Bonneville must be sold to make room for incoming 94 models. Every 93 GMC truck is discounted for maximum year-end savings. 3.9% financing is still available, and many 93 models have factory rebates from $400 to $1,500. So hurry in. Time is running out on Community's year-end closeout prices. Rush to Community Pontiac GMC Truck in Oak Forest and save.
Cinema Talk Celebrity Promo 5.
Hi, this is Christian Slater. Hi, I'm William Peterson.
Hi, this is Virginia Madsen.
I'm Chris Rock. Hi, I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme.
When I'm in Chicago,
I watch Cinema Talk.
The Smart Choices Cinema Talk, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m., right here on Jones Intercable, TV4.
Watch Cinema Talk, or if not, I'll kick your ass. Get it?
Well, Fogarty, I talked to some of the Stagg fans before the game. They said he had a hip pointer, and that's what's been keeping him out. So maybe that's finally healed up.
Well, he's at the fullback slot right now with Barnes in the tail. The handoff goes to Barnes off the right side. He's got room to run for a first down and beyond. Past the 45 to the 46-yard line.
13 on that carry for Barnes.
Ridden out by Leo Kozielinski on the side there. Gain of about 14 yards.
Kozielinski with the defense for the Eagles. That's the 5th first down.
This play starts out to be nothing more than a tailback ISO play with Fogarty leading up the middle. Fogarty puts a tough block on the defensive lineman, and Barnes slides it to the outside and finds some blocking on the outside and picks up good yardage.
1st and 10 for the Chargers, 46-yard line.
Barnes
stood up by Danny Sullivan and Brandon O'Daniel around the left side.
Dan Sullivan and on the
Eric Welsh
heck of a
comes
hit
over.
by Danny Sullivan.
Eric Welsh comes over to offer his congratulations on that play. That was a real stick.
Danny Sullivan is an outstanding hitter, and it's nothing more than a base play, off-tackle base play. Fogarty picks up the defensive end, and up comes Sullivan. Tell you, Sullivan doesn't say much, but boy, does he hit.
Yeah.
He lets action speak louder than words.
Well, Danny Sullivan really a cornerback playing about 4 or 5 yards off the ball right now. And there's some movement on the right side. One of the few penalties in tonight's game.
Yes, this has been an outstanding ball game as far as penalties go. It's been very clean, very hard hitting, very well disciplined on both sides of the ball.
The penalty against the Chargers.
Well, it's kind of funny, Tom, you've coached now 3 Sullivans, right, at Sandburg, and the first 2 were big kids, right? And Danny Sullivan was smaller one and the quicker one.
I think what happened was when they used to sit down to dinner, him being the smallest one, when they'd pass it down the other end of the table, all that was left was the plate. So, you know, Danny didn't know what it was like to eat. So I'll tell you right now, he's licking his chops out here in the football field.
That happened to the Danny in our house, didn't it, Doug?
No, but Danny Sullivan got a lot meaner by doing that. You can see it out on the field. Yeah, no, Danny Barrett definitely not miss.
There's your fake sprint draw. Screen. Oh, what a hit out there. Who was that? Eric Welch?
That's Eric Welch.
Oh, man, did he label.
But he read that one all the way, didn't he?
Nice defensive play by Eric Welch for the Eagles.
Here it is again. Fake sprint draw, drops back, and Barnes slides out in the flat. I believe it's Barnes. He gets hit so fast I can't even see the number, and up comes Eric Walsh. Late last year, Eric Walsh started to develop as a football player. Eric Walsh has become one heck of a player and a leader on this football team. I've been very impressed with Eric Walsh.
Welsh read that play all the way. Flankers, both sides, single back, double tight ends.
This is
play action. McDonald to throw. He's got a receiver. He's got Barnes at the 47-yard line of the Eagles.
Pickup of maybe 22.
Not quite a first down. 22-yard gain.
Here we
go. It's going to be 4th and 2 or 3 for the Chargers.
It's nothing more than another out and up. And Scott McDonald, the quarterback, he spots Barnes wide open coming up out of the backfield and hits him for a long gainer. Now it's decision time. It's 4th and about 3. I don't think Scott Helton's going to punt. I think he wants this ball game. He's going after this.
Tom, was that last ball underthrown, or that was the design of the pass?
No, it was underthrown. But Sullivan was covering Barnes, and Barnes peeled back and picked the ball up.
Same formation, double flanks, single back. McDonald going for a long count, looking for the offside.
Penalty flag on the field.
That's what we call a dead call.
Delay a game?
They had no intention on snapping the football, and the quarterback was going to try to change his rhythm a little bit and get Sandburg to jump. It didn't work, and Scotty said, okay, now we'll punt the ball. Scott was going to buy 5 yards on the play.
That was an old Sandburg trick, but unfortunately he's playing Sandburg.
Heads-up football.
That's right. That's heads-up football.
Scott McDonald in punt formation.
Well, we've got 8:19 to go in the third quarter. The score is 16-0. The Eagles against the host Chargers here.
McDonald a kick. Fahey the single safety. It's a low kick. Fahey fields it, drops it, picks it up. At about the 22, past the 25-yard line.
Kevin was almost nonchalant. The ball bopped out of his hands. He kind of looked around, saw who was coming, and picked it up and took off.
I don't know if they'll show that on replay, but, you know, he drops the ball initially, and then he goes down. Now, here goes the punt. and it's a good punt. It's a spiral. It's a line shot. He drops the ball. He picks it up. He's holding it. He knows exactly where he's at. What he's trying to do is make the Stagg defense or the men coming down commit themselves, and then he's going to razzle-dazzle them. And he razzle-dazzled one or two, but he didn't get the rest.
Pro set in the backfield.
Guess who's carrying the ball?
Skubik's got the ball. He's got some yardage. He's breaking away. He may go all the way. One man can catch him. Skubik's got another touchdown.
Any flags on the field?
A 75-yard touchdown run for Rob Skubik. Once again, they went to the pro set, Coach.
They did pro set, and that makes Rob Skubik the tailback on the strong side. He went strong again and give Rob the ball. And just a basic base play really is what it is. And Robbie bent it back, and he's on his way.
Skubik goes over 200 yards with that play. I think he had 129 yards at the half, so that puts him up to 204 yards for the game in 7 carries.
There's a picture of Mike Navarro on the sideline. He really looks worried tonight, doesn't he?
Right. Well, the score is Rob Skubik 22, the Chargers 0. Robbie Skubik has scored every point for the Eagles. Let's see what happens. They're going for 2 again.
The Eagles will attempt the 2-point conversion.
Skubik at fullback, Singletary in the tail. Play action, Bulio.
Back to pass.
Incomplete. Broken up by Tony Zitzka.
Laundry on the field.
Nothing.
Laundry on the field.
The way that was thrown, it might have been some sort of offensive interference. Oh, defensive interference.
On Stagg.
Half the distance to the goal line.
You get down to those 3-yard extra point plays, you always look for offensive interference, some sort of pick.
Right. And that time it wasn't. It was just a push from behind by the defensive back. Unusual play. They didn't send Skubik in the flat.
That's right.
Well, maybe they will this time as they get another shot at
Navarro, do you hear us? Put him in the flat. Let them score them all tonight, Mike.
Skubik at fullback. It's not Singletary in the tail, though. That's Brian Anguita. The ball goes to Brian for the extra points.
Is good.
Brian Anguita.
Brian Anguita, the ball carrier for the Eagles.
So Brian Anguita extends the Eagles' lead to 24-0 with 7:33 to go, right, Doug?
Yeah, 7:33 going, and that's really tough now for Stagg. That last touchdown was really a tough one for him. Now you've got to score 4 times, right?
Right. That puts them in a very tough situation. In fact, so tough that they're in a hole right now. I don't know if they can get out of the hole.
Well, one thing, the Eagles all year have been kicking their extra points. Now, heading into Wednesday's potential playoff game, they've gone for 2 points on all their extra points. Just maybe because there are scouts out here, or?
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily the reason, but he probably feels that, he can get the 2 points, and he's going to go for them. And, yeah, it gives the scouts something to look for. And if the scouts don't know that Sandburg has a man that can kick extra points and field goals, then the scouts aren't doing their job. But he's putting the game out of reach right now.
Now, Robbie Skubik kicked early for the Eagles. He kicked field goals and extra points, and Kevin Fahey has been doing that recently. Is that because Robbie Skubik's been hurt, or?
Robbie Skubik has had a little bit of an ankle problem.
This is Doug Barnes.
Fahey's kick goes to Barnes at the 15. Barnes up the middle of the field. Jeff Janisek, Brandon O'Daniel.
Doug Barnes to the 37.
Who else is in there, Doug? A whole wave of white jerseys out there.
Yeah, there's Jack Brickhouse, a whole swarm of yellow and blue and gold jerseys.
In on the tackle for the Eagles.
Yeah, just to get back to it, Skubik had a little ankle problem early in the year. Here, Fahey kicks off right now, and it's just wedge blocking, and Barnes is looking for his opening before he puts on the jet burners and goes up the middle, well covered by Sandburg. But smart thing by Mike Navarro. He knew that Fahey could kick, so he let Skubik alone and took a lot of pressure off the ankle, and Skubik is fine now, as we all see.
This is Doug Barnes carrying the ball for Stagg. Barnes picks up 3 yards.
Barnes off the right side for a game.
I guess we can say if Rob Skubik can run like that, he'll certainly let Kevin Fahey try to kick off. That's a good trade-off.
All right, it sure is. And, also what they're showing tonight is they're showing right now that it's not only the Kevin Singletary show, which I think Kevin Singletary is an outstanding running back, one of the best in the conference, but now with Rob Skubik at the fullback spot and showing the burst of speed and what he has, it puts a little bit of added burden on his next opponent.
Eric Walsh on that last tackle.
This is
McDonald to throw. Off in the flat, complete.
Singletary on the stop.
Mike Condon with the reception.
Condon on the reception. Mike Condon.
Now, Tom, if the Eagles anticipate getting into playoffs, do they have scouts out at different games? Here's a replay right here.
Okay, what it is really, it's just a flat pattern. It's he's cleaning out with one receiver, and he's flying the other one out in the flat and hitting him for a 10-yard pickup. So Scott has to pick up yards in big chunks right now to get back in this ball game.
1st and 10 for the Chargers at their own 49-yard line. Down 24-0 here. Midway through the third quarter, there's movement on the left side of the line. There's the flag.
So I was going to ask you, Tom, are the Eagles out scouting potential opponents tonight, or?
They're out scouting potential opponents. And what has happened, I talked to Mike Navarro and Larry Lokank the other day. As of right now, they have scouted approximately 15 teams. They know they're going to be 6A. And right now, they know they're going to be in the playoffs. So they have scouted almost 15 teams. The thing about it is, nobody knows where anybody's going to go. That's, if anybody thinks they have that magic answer.
You can figure out the IHSA,
right.
You're clairvoyant, for God's sake.
The IHSA doesn't even know where they're going to go right now.
That's right.
Motion for the first time by the Chargers. And there's a trap by the fullback. Gain of about 6 yards up to midfield.
6 on that carry. Kevin Fahey in on the tackle for Sandburg, along with Brian Czar.
It's about 5 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the third quarter. The score is 24-0. The Eagles leading the Chargers.
Once again, the eye backfield. Now motion right to left.
This is Doug Barnes.
Deep hand up to Barnes, being chased by Singletary. Singletary takes him out of bounds along with
Doug Barnes.
Whoever that was at about the 48-yard line. Let's see who it was on the play.
Somebody down over there on the
Eric Welch.
Sandburg sideline. Somebody's down and not getting up over there.
Let's see who it was here.
Okay, here it is, a trap play. The guard pulls and traps, but Barnes slides it to the outside.
Leo Kozielinski along with
Singletary and Leo. I think Leo's down right now. If that's Leo, he's still down.
Whether he twists his leg or hit his head on something by the bench over there, seems like he's hurt.
This is something in a game of football you hate to see. I'll tell you, you like the good, clean, hard hitting, but you like to see everybody get up after every play.
Here's a replay one more time.
Here it goes. That's Singletary coming up from behind. That's Leo.
That's Leo.
That's Leo. He makes the tackle along with Singletary. Looks like he may have twisted his ankle or twisted his knee. Let's hope it's nothing serious.
It looks like somebody may have fallen on him also as he went out of bounds, or somebody may have kicked him.
Miss Palos Hills watching the action.
Tom, I don't know what to tell you, but I think that's Gene Sherry over there with the black hood on as one of the officials. Honest to God, I think it's him.
I was at a game the other day. Gene Sherry was refereeing.
I think that's him.
A grade school game.
I'm just checking. Here's number 62 reporting in for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's McCarthy.
That's McCarthy coming back in. He's had a little discussion on the sidelines.
He's replacing number 79, who just left the ball.
Number 79 is Steve Pawlacki. Steve Pawlacki back from an injury early in the season.
Yeah, Steve.
Big kid.
A junior player that a lot of dedication, a lot of heart, and.
He's a great kid. Tom and I had him on our Colt League team, Colt League baseball team. Just a super kid.
He wants to play bad. He's been watching film every day and getting himself back into shape, and it's nice to see him out there and getting an opportunity to play. He's worked hard.
Third down for the Chargers and about 8 yards to go.
Back to action here. 3rd and 8 for Stagg. At the Eagle 49-yard line.
I think that's Gene Sherry, Tom. I can see through the binocs.
Another long count.
I was just going to say.
McDonald.
This is Scott McDonald.
Pass out in the flat, dropped. The kick is good, but there's a penalty flag on the play. Down in the soccer nets down there. At halftime, I heard the Stagg volleyball team is going to play Mother McCauley for the sectional championship or regional championship on Tuesday.
Against the Eagles.
at Shepard High School.
The Stagg Chargers defeated the Sandburg Eagles just last night. And in soccer news, the Eagles are going to play Naperville North tomorrow at Naperville Central. A lot of athletic events always going on at Carl Sandburg High School.
And I guess 2 exciting events last night. The volleyball was very exciting. Stagg coming from behind. Sandburg won the first one, and Stagg won the last 2. And then, what was it, a double overtime shootout in the soccer?
Offside on the Eagles. So, again, we'll attempt the extra point at the north end. That kick is up. And it's good.
And Kevin.
31-0.
For all the scouts that wonder if Sandburg can kick extra points.
I was just going to say it. Kevin Fahey just showed him he can kick it. So with 5:11 to go in the fourth quarter, the score is the visiting Eagles 31 and the host Chargers 0. Okay, let's take a look one more time at that replay of that touchdown by Kevin Fahey, that interception. Here goes.
It's a pitch out to Barnes, and Barnes fakes an end run, and they send a receiver deep, hoping to pull the secondary on the run. Kevin Fahey does not buy it. He stays in his zone coverage. The ball is slightly underthrown, and Kevin Fahey, like a little water bug, scoots through half of the Sandburg and Stagg teams and goes all the way. That had to be probably 60 yards or better.
There's some cold girls. Those are the cheerleaders from Stagg. It's really admirable that they're out there. It's a cold night. They're waving at the camera right now.
Yeah, Fahey intercepted that ball at about the 30, so it was almost a 70-yard return.
And there's a legendary Jacques Riendo on the camera, along with, we have Jay Holly, we have Bill Dobas tonight, Gerard Grabowski, and of course George Carpentier.
One of the coldest nights of the year out here.
Certainly is.
Jeremy Ellaway
down in the 30s, I'm sure by now, isn't it, Doug?
I would say so.
Well, we have to thank Stagg High School for putting us up in this press box. I'll tell you, this is the way to coach.
This is the way to. It all looks easy up here, doesn't it?
I'll tell you, I haven't made a mistake yet.
That's right.
Kevin Fahey counts the players, sets the ball up after just accounting for 7 points on his own with an interception and the extra point kick.
Kevin Doyle is closest to us here on the kickoff team.
This is Doug Barnes with the ball for Stagg. Doug Barnes to the 35-yard line.
Barnes, the carrier for Stagg, up to the 35-yard line.
Fred Albert,
first down for the Chargers.
For the Eagles.
Nearing the end of the football game.
And I see here on the screen, here's a couple of Ray Beaver's buddies from Texas. They're taking off their shirt. I knew it wasn't too cold of a night. Ray only had 3 coats on up there tonight.
Ray taught over here for a while. There's still effect is still being felt here, Tom.
Well, he was here, and he was their head football coach, and he made the move to Sandburg, and we've been thankful for that. He's been a great help.
Super coach.
He
is Scott McDonald with the ball for Stagg. McDonald's pass is incomplete. Myron Phelps, the intended receiver.
Apparently some Santa Ana winds are affecting the...
Either that or there's a snowstorm outside. I don't know.
Well, that was out of Tripp's right. There was a couple of picks on that play to get a receiver open, but nothing really happened. We've lost our monitor up here. We'll have to rely on the action on the field.
Right now, I think Scott is trying to just divert a shutout and put one on the board because Sandburg has all the second-team players and the kids that deserve to get in a ball game at this point anyway. They work hard all week long, and next year will be their year. They'll be out there starting. So.
And a no-back offense.
And a quarterback sneak.
McDonald carries the ball for about a 4-yard gain.
For a gain of 3 on that play.
About 4.5 minutes to go, 31-0. There's our picture. We're back. Santa Ana wins. Nope, that Santa Ana wins just kicked in again. Rob Estrada, we've got Conley in there. I'll try to pick out some of these new names.
I see Eric
Brian
Walsh.
Bianco. Eric Walsh is still out there.
He probably bait coach to play. He's a player. He hates to come off the field.
Tim Fitzgerald is out there at the defensive safety.
This is Scott McDonald.
McDonald's pass off in the flat, complete to Condon. No, it's incomplete now.
Nice pass play because what he's doing is with his wide receiver, he's just clearing out the deep man and he's bringing a short man in. Here you'll see it again. He cleans out with the deep receiver, and he comes across with the short receiver. Nice pattern. They're just not clicking on it tonight. Those things happen.
Connor Stabb is also in there for the Eagles, number 65.
Looked like it might have been a nice catch. We don't have all the angles on the replay that the NFL has. McDonald to kick.
McDonald in punt formation for the
So
Chargers.
he gets off an end-over-end kick. Nobody deep for the Eagles. Ball bounces inside the 30, inside the 25, down to the 20-yard line.
20-yard line of the Eagles.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who goes in for Sandburg right now. I would expect you will probably see Chris Prizdia go in at quarterback, which, you know, Chris is a senior, and he was replaced by Brian Bugalo. And Chris has a great attitude. Chris's attitude as well. I got beat by a younger player, but I'm going to do everything I can to help Sandburg. And I like Chris's attitude. If something would